Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Mike. Hey, Dwayne. Nice to see ya. Nice to see everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Okay, I gotta do. Just Dwayne's on the phone. Hello, caller.
Hey, it's nice to see you too, buddy. How's it going tonight?
It's going okay. I'm still a little bit shook up on the whole Ukrainian airliner thing. Got me kind of heartbroken.
Yes, and I saw that on your channel. Now, when I was at work, they had it flashing across that it was like 63 Canadians. I'm like, what? Fucking serious? Like, I heard about it last night just before I crashed, eh?
Uh-huh.
And, like before I went to sleep, I heard about it, and then I saw it at the news ticker at work. I'm like, wow, really? I pointed to everyone at work. I'm like, you see that? You see that? You see that? Like, 63 of them are Canadians.
Yeah.
So now I know the CBC Trudeau had some statement tonight. I didn't watch that,
Seems
but CBC was
kind of
saying
weak.
that most of the Canadians killed are Iranian Canadians
Yeah.
on student travel, I guess, to Iran. And,
I'm not sure I mean, if that's some kind of visa or something. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, something like that. Like, they're all obviously Iranian-born but Canadian citizens.
Yeah.
And apparently they were all students. And look, man, like, that looks really messed up. Did you hear how the Ukrainian government initially said, oh, it was some kind of malfunction, and then they took that back?
The Ukrainians are pretty serious that it wasn't a malfunction. I mean,
dude, you see the crash field? There's pieces of the plane everywhere.
I know that's
it's not like there's any kind of impact.
Right. That was the very first thing that I saw, Dwayne. Was I saw that looked like something happened in the air because everything was spread out way, and it's all these little tiny pieces. There's no real big pieces at all.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
There isn't a wing. There isn't a tail.
Yeah. Usually, when it hits the ground, there's usually some kind of big pieces.
Yeah. So who blew it up?
Yeah, it's a good question, Dwayne.
Did the Iranians blow it up? Or could the Americans even blown it up to say, look how bad these people really are? Or did the Iranians say, you know what? Because, look, like, I can't imagine what your show would have been like last night, honestly, with the callers freaking out. Oh, my God, Israel's ruling the world, and here we go with World War III. Like, I can't imagine the calls last night. I was too wiped. I'm sorry.
It's all good, bro. You're here now. That's what matters.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I can't believe, like, 63 Canadians. Wow. Now, they're Canadian citizens. You know, yes, they're of Iranian descent. From what I know, the majority of them, probably all of them are actually Iranian descent. But they're Canadian citizens. And from what the CBC was saying, that most of them, if not all of them, are actually from the Edmonton, Alberta area.
It seemed like a lot of them were from Edmonton area, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, obviously you've been watching CBC this evening.
I watched at noon. I watched the CBC. I haven't seen it this evening yet.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that's just kind of strange, you know? Like a lot of peaceful people died. Those are the people that were peaceful people who died on that plane. You know, you can sit there and talk about Soleimani, you can sit there and talk about U.S. forces, but those people on that plane, they didn't kill nobody in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel you, man. I feel you that really hurts. And the fact that what really bugs me, too, is that the Iranians, like, look, I know that, hey, it looks like everything's okay. All right? It's not World War III. I'm pretty sure all the know-nothing know-it-alls that called in your show last night, like Mike from Southern California there, who always calls in and talks shit about me. I'm sure that know-nothing know-it-all
He's
called in and said, it's
talking.
World War III, here we go.
You weren't here, so he was busy talking about shit about other people, Dwayne.
Oh, my God. Like,
Which I asked him not to do because that's not why we're here, Dwayne.
I know. But you know something? It really... You remember, I don't know, like 2 months ago, you said you might try a Skype kind of thing. I want
Yeah.
to get on Skype with this guy, Mike, in Southern California.
Well,
And
Craig's
Mike,
working
I
on
want
that.
you to be a moderator.
Craig is working on
And
that. He had the Skype up on the thing yesterday. He's almost got it. We're working. He's working on it. Don't worry, it'll be soon.
who, Craig?
Craig is working on it. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Craig, shout out to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Way to keep the show going, man. Way to keep the show going. I really appreciate you as well. And thanks for being a part of this and putting this show on. And, yeah, so I kind of thought that, I was thinking about it for the last half hour or so. I didn't watch any Fox News tonight. Can you believe that?
Wow.
I watched a CNN clip of Mike Lee and Rand Paul flipping out about apparently the intel behind the killing of Soleimani in the Senate today. So I did see that.
Yeah. The Mike Lee said it was like the weakest briefing he's ever received as a senator. He said there's absolutely nothing there. There's no there whatsoever, and it's not looking so good. They sounded pretty. The Republicans sound a little bit fucking hot, like they were not in Trump's court today. I mean, not all of them. There's a lot of them that just can't get enough war, you know.
Isn't it a total plus that the United States killed a killer and Iran backed down?
You know what? Do you think that Iran backed down because Trump said that Iran backed down? Because what I saw was Iran attacked 2 American bases last night, and then this morning Trump comes out and says, "Oh, it looks like Iran backed down." What I see is Iran went, look what we can do. We can pinpoint your bases so well that your people won't even get damaged. So, you better fucking pull your head out of your ass. If you want war, we'll take out a whole bunch of your shit right away.
I'm actually really glad that the Iranians called the Iraqis and said, listen, we're going to do this. I am
very glad they did that, too.
I'm glad they did that because you know something? If a U.S. troop would have been killed, my wife and I were sitting here last night saying, you know what? If a U.S. troop dies, the Ayatollah is going to be bombed tonight, man. And that's not going to be good.
Well,
because I just think that, now, it's nice that it seems like it's just, 2 big mouthy guys on each side yapping off at each other. Maybe that's good. I'm pretty sure if I get on Skype with Mike from Southern California, it'll be 2 mouthy guys on opposite sides anyway.
Yeah, but that's what I see. I mean, what I see. Look, Dwayne, this thing with the airliner is very bad. And
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, who shot that down?
Like you said, either somebody shot it down or somebody took a bomb on that plane. Okay.
Yeah. Now, my personal beliefs, because it was 2 minutes after takeoff, it was probably an Iranian that shot that thing down. If it was shot down, if it wasn't blown up up in the air.
Yeah, it was 5 minutes after takeoff, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So I don't think the Americans would have done that, even to make the Iranians look like crazy people. I don't think the Americans really would have done that. I don't think any NATO force would have done that. I really don't believe that. But then I really don't believe Trump is necessarily making the calls on this anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Iranians have brought the Canadians in on the crash investigation, and the Ukrainians.
Have they actually brought the Canadians in? Because we actually have some, Bombardier is a major aviation and trains and all that stuff. So
the Canadians have been invited to take part in the investigation.
Wow, that's actually good. But then Justin Trudeau, I wish Jane was here. She's in the tub right now soaking. Trudeau was just praised by some major Muslim for being a really awesome Muslim. And I forget what she said, who said that about him. But that kind of bugs me, eh?
Yeah. No, it bothers the hell out of me too, man. You know how, I mean, it's like I was saying, those are my brothers, that died, and I'm not. I hate this, Dwayne. I hate everybody's on edge and waiting for the next shoe to fall, and then it's a bunch of civilians. Oh man, just
Oh,
fucking
dude, you know what pisses
gut
me off?
wrenching.
The only war crime that happened last night or in the last week, seriously, was that plane going down. I want to fucking know who did that. Whoever did that deserves to die, man. Whoever shot that fucking plane down or blew it up in the sky,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. I agree.
And when I came
That's
home
what.
from work today,
Well, here's what I say. Okay, let's say that it was Donald Trump's call and Donald Trump did it. Then I will, for the rest of my life, every day that I can, get out here and say Donald Trump needs to go to prison, just
oh
like
yeah,
Barack Obama and
oh
George
yeah,
W.
and
Bush.
same
I've
with
said
Sean
again,
Hannity. If an American did that, for
to
sure.
make the world a safer place for little children. That's all there is to it.
Oh man, you know it was really sad. You should put up one of the clips that's on the CBC
Yeah,
of the guy they talked to from Edmonton, and he's like, I know this couple, and they had a 9-year-old and a 14-year-old daughter on that plane, man.
yeah, yeah. It's not. Whatever happened there is not okay. I mean, if that plane was brought down, it hurts so bad, Dwayne. I just
Yeah, yeah, because you know what, you can sit there and military, American troops
it's one thing
and
when a
whatever
soldier
Iranian
dies, yeah.
guardsmen.
It's one thing when a soldier dies. It's
Yeah.
another thing when a bunch of people just trying to get home, become fucking a
Now
target.
there's also the conspiracy side too. Oh my God, who was on that plane?
Well, that's a good question too, I guess. I mean, that's
Yep.
basically the first question that most people probably think. That's the
But
first
it
thing.
sounds like it was a bunch of Canadian students from
Yeah.
what the CBC is reporting.
Yeah, well,
Okay, and they had they're saying that it was 1%, 1 to 2% of Edmonton's Iranian community was destroyed last night on that plane,
it's just so sad.
and they're innocent people, man. If they're just students going over there taking computer science,
Yeah, well, I heard there was a bunch of people. One of them went over there and just got married.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I really hope that. I don't see how that thing just had some malfunction and crash like that.
Yeah, the Ukrainians don't seem to feel that way either. The Ukrainians are like, this is like the greatest crew of airline pilot
Yep,
crew
that
we
plane is
have.
3 years old. It's not one of those Max
Yeah,
7s
right. It's
or
only
whatever.
the plane's only a few years old, and it just got serviced 2 days ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So, now, and Edmonton's a really cool city, man. Like, I took a train across Canada when my wife and I were newlyweds, man. And we stopped in Edmonton,
yeah,
and all the stereotypes across the country
yeah.
are exactly right. Everybody in Edmonton is wearing an Edmonton Oilers fucking jersey and wearing toques in September. Like, seriously.
They all
I love that
got
city,
like
man.
mullet haircuts too.
Oh yeah, just like Strange Brew, man. Just like the Mackenzie brothers, dude. It was awesome. I love that
It
city.
does sound kind of awesome, actually.
Oh yeah, and like it would just be so sad to see that. Like, obviously Edmonton has some problems with missing Aboriginal women, but other than that, it's just sad for.
That's not a nationwide thing. I thought that was kind of a nationwide thing.
Well, a lot of it is in that area of
Hmm.
Edmonton and
Hmm.
Saskatoon.
Hmm.
For sure, a lot of that. A lot in Ontario happened as well, but they've already dug up the graves of those kids. So the stuff that happened in Ontario, like in Brantford, Ontario, if you want to research it, anyone out there, they had was a Catholic church or whatever. One of the residential schools was just burying a whole bunch of 5-year-old kids. They've already been digging up those graves.
Oh, okay. I know. Okay. Yeah, that's horrible.
So
Yeah.
they're not missing anymore. They're dead in the ground.
Yeah.
Buried and hidden,
Yeah.
but found. So they're not missing anymore. But, yeah, that's something big going on in Canada still with the missing Aboriginal women, and it's just sad that this plane, Somebody shot that fucking thing down, man. And whoever did that is a war criminal, period. It is absolutely a piece of shit.
Well, I sure hope that we get to find out more information about it in the next couple days, because I don't want to keep wondering about what happened there. You know, it hurts too much, man. I want to know what happened, and I want it put out in the light, and I want us all fucking talking about it so we can move on. You know, because it's so not that you want to move on or whatever, but I mean, God, it's so horrible. This kind of thing. It's like with the fire in Australia. You know, it's so hard to cover that shit because just like a billion dead animals. You know, people don't even understand what a billion is. You know what I mean?
My wife was telling me that there was a bunch of climate protesters that had been arrested. Is that true?
I don't know.
Climate change fucking freaks?
I don't know. I didn't see
fires, and she even said that some Muslim guy was arrested, and he was in court the other day just laughing his head off.
We had a caller. Well, that's what terrorism. Fires is one of the things that terrorism looks like. But we had a caller the other day, yesterday from Australia, and he was saying that there was some people that were setting fires, and he didn't call them climate change people, but you know.
My wife said they arrested a Muslim who was in court laughing the whole time and wouldn't. Is that true, Jane?
What?
What about those people that were arrested in Australia?
Yeah, it was in the Canadian news or something.
Oh, it was in the Canadian news.
There's like 200 people arrested. One guy was a Muslim. I don't know.
Just crazy. Just messed up, man. Messed up. Don't start fucking fires. Like, seriously?
No. Don't start fires.
Man. Hey, Mike, it was great talking to you.
Hey, Dwayne, it's good to hear from you too, man.
Yeah, for sure. Have a great show. I'll listen in for a bit. I'm going to have to crash early tonight, but you know what? I'll listen in for a half hour, maybe an hour or something tonight.
Tell Jane Mike says hi.
I will.
Okay,
hey,
thanks.
Nice talking to you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Okay, good to hear from you. Bye. That's our buddy Dwayne from the Great White North. Okay, so everybody's here now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play clip 1 because I want to catch everybody up to speed on the Ukrainian airliner and where we're at now. So it'll take just a minute and I'll get right back to you callers, okay? Hold on. Clip 1.
Ukraine Airline says the aircraft was newer, built in 2016, and was cleared after a scheduled maintenance test just 2 days ago. They dismiss any error by the crew, saying between them they had tens of thousands of hours of flight experience on 737s.
The data shows that this airplane completely disappeared at 7,900 feet. That is very suspicious. Only 2 things could cause that: a bomb or the aircraft being shot down.
Less than 5,000 feet off the ground, 10 miles from the airport, and the data stops. The jet falling from the sky. What could cause such a catastrophic crash? A mechanical failure, a bomb, or a shoot-down? A theory getting attention because of the heightened tensions in Iran. Some are pointing to what appear to be shrapnel holes in the pictures of some of the wreckage, similar to what was found in the Malaysian Flight 17, which was shot down over Ukraine.
And there is still fiery rhetoric coming from officials here on live TV today. Iran's supreme leader calling the Iranian missile strike a slap in the face delivered to America and calling for all U.S. troops to get out of the Mideast. So, David, while the heat may be turned way down, this standoff with Iran is far from over. David.
All right, Martha Raddatz in Tehran. Martha, thank you. We, of course, are also following the plane crash, the mystery, just hours after Iran fired those missiles, a Ukrainian passenger jet crashing minutes after takeoff at the airport in Tehran. Tonight, look at this. Pieces of the Boeing 737 strewn across acres of land, along with the remains of at least 176 people on board. No one survived. So far tonight, Iran is refusing to share the flight data recorders with the U.S. or with Boeing. Was it catastrophic failure? Was it a bomb? Was it Iran on heightened alert after those missiles? ABC's David Curley covers aviation for us.
Pieces of burning wreckage pierced Tehran's early morning darkness, the remains of the Ukrainian Boeing 737. With daylight, the grim awareness that none of the 176 on board survived. Body bags lining the side of a street. A child's notebooks found on the ground. More than a third of those on board, 63 people, Canadian citizens. It was soon after takeoff that the jet suddenly disappeared from radar.
The data stop like that, you have to say it's something catastrophic.
It was less than 4 hours after Iran launched that barrage of missiles at American targets in Iraq that the Ukrainian jet was allowed to take off, an hour late. Just 2 minutes into the flight, the jet was climbing, less than 5,000 feet off the ground, 10 miles from the airport, and the data stops, the jet falling from the sky. What could cause such a catastrophic crash? A mechanical failure, a bomb, or a shoot-down, a theory getting attention because of the heightened tensions in Iran. Some are pointing to what appear to be shrapnel holes in the pictures of some of the wreckage, similar to what was found in the Malaysian Flight 17, which was shot down over Ukraine.
Right now, we don't have enough data to go one way or the other. Is a shoot down possible? Yes. Can I come up with mechanical failures that are possible? Yes. And right now, we just don't have the data.
The Iranians deny a shoot down of the jetliner and say they have recovered the black boxes which could have answers. But Iran will not provide those boxes to U.S. authorities or Boeing.
While they may not provide the boxes to the U.S., other parties are being invited to the investigation. So there's a chance the Ukrainians or the Canadians will share the data at some point. David, the question is, when?
David Curley tonight. David, our thanks to you as well.
Out. The president now ramping up the economic pressure on the regime, announcing fresh sanctions, but appeared to stray away from that military action he threatened just days ago.
Just hours after a counterattack by Iran, President Trump insisted the regime is backing off.
Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned and a very good thing for the world.
The president, who just days before warned the U.S. would strike fast and hard in response to a retaliatory attack, made no mention of a military response in his address to the nation, instead announcing tougher sanctions on the country.
The fact that we have this great military and equipment, however, does not mean we have to use it.
Tensions between the two countries at a boiling point, but maybe a chance now to cool. Iran taking revenge for the death of its top commander, Qasem Soleimani, firing roughly 24 missiles at 2 military bases in Iraq where American troops were stationed. President Trump says an early warning system gave American troops a heads up to the imminent danger. Only minimal damage was sustained at the military bases, but all U.S. and Iraqi troops are safe. Iranian officials defiant. The supreme leader calling the strike a slap in the face to the U.S., ratcheting up demands for President Trump to pull all American forces out of the region. President Trump says under his watch, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. Trump backed out of the landmark 2015 Iran nuclear deal, despite concerns from other world leaders it would increase tensions. Today, he once again asked allies to follow his lead.
They must now break away from the remnants of the Iran deal, or JCPOA. And we must all work together toward making a deal with Iran that makes the world a safer and more peaceful place.
And amid the escalating tension, Switzerland and Oman have stepped in to help the two sides communicate, exchanging messages between Iran and the United States. Today, Switzerland calling on both countries to exercise a maximum restraint. Reporting live in Washington, Rachel Scott, Como News.
If there's any military retaliation by the U.S., it could involve local service members. We know there are no significant deployments of local units in the targeted bases in Iraq. There are more than 70,000 service members in our area representing every branch. We asked commanders at JBLM if they're increasing security. They told us they don't discuss those kinds of base operations. Today on the floor of the Senate, Washington Senator Patty Murray demanded Congress have a say in decisions of war as spelled out in the Constitution.
Well, I firmly believe we must do everything possible to keep America safe and go after terrorists wherever they are. I also believe that except in the most dire of circumstances, we should do everything possible to exhaust all of our diplomatic avenues and coordinate with our allies and our partners before taking military action all on our own.
As the escalating tensions unfolded, a Ukraine-bound passenger jet crashed shortly after takeoff in Tehran. The Boeing 737-800 was heading to Kiev. All 176 people on board died. Ukraine Airline says the aircraft was newer, built in 2016, and was cleared after a scheduled maintenance test just 2 days ago. They dismiss any error by the crew, saying between them they had tens of thousands of hours of flight experience on 737s.
The data shows that this airplane completely disappeared at 7,900 feet. That is very suspicious. Only two things could cause that: a bomb or the aircraft being shot down.
Iranian officials say they will not turn over the black boxes to Boeing or to American aviation officials. Several major international airlines have announced they are diverting flights away from Iranian airspace to ensure safety. Here's a live look at the Boeing 737 production facility in Renton where the 800s were built. Boeing says in a statement that their heartfelt thoughts are with the crew, passengers, and their families. They say they're ready to assist in any way needed.
It's going to snow here. Okay, so the most important part of that video for me, the reason I really wanted to show that was because the one analyst was like, it was either a bomb or it was shot down. And that was their own analyst, so I'm not, making shit up. I don't make shit up. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
how are you? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. What's your name?
My name's Alex.
Alex, nice to hear from you. Thanks for calling.
No, thank you. I've been watching for a while, but first time calling. So, yeah, no, it's good speaking with you. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on something at my house. Just try to figure it out with you.
Okay.
All right. So my kids, they're like, I don't know what to do with them. One's 11 and one's 9, but
I would suggest you eat them.
Eat them?
Eat them, yes.
Eat them. Honestly, I think the 9-year-old doesn't look that tasty. The 11-year-old's like a chubby one, but yeah. No, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling them anymore. It's tough.
I couldn't imagine having kids, dude. I'm not the person to ask. I would tell you, just move on. Leave them. They're 9, they're 11. They made it this far. They'll be fine. Move on.
Yeah, no, I think it's public school, man. Just teaches them some wild shit. Like, yeah, no, it's rough.
I hear you.
Yeah. I like what can I do with them though? Like I can't eat them.
Just walk away, man. Just walk away. You're better off without them. You're better off without them. It sounds like they would be better off without you too, honestly.
Yeah, I think I'm a pretty good dad,
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like it. I would doubt that highly.
Really? I mean, I try.
No, not really. You're trying to figure out how to get away from them. You don't want to. So, never mind. Whatever. Just do it. Just walk away. Do what you want. It's your life. You only live once. Go. Do it now.
All right, man.
Okay.
This is what I needed. Needed.
All
right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck with that.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. What the hell? You want advice on what to do with your kids? Come on, give me a call. I'll tell you what to do with your kids. Boil them with a nice Chianti at about 350 degrees. Should be delicious. Fucking kids. Like I give a shit about your fucking kids.
Take this call.
Hello, caller.
Hey, Michael. What the fuck was that, man? What was that?
It's just, I think we're on the troll fucking board or something, chat board or something. They're like, oh, you gotta call this guy.
I was watching your face, and it was like you knew right away that dude was just fucking with you.
I can tell. Like I said, I've done this a long time. It's pretty obvious to me. I let most of them get away with it as much as possible. And if you look back, you'll see you can tell on my face almost every time, because I try and make it kind of obvious to everybody, that I know what's going on. But
yeah, that's a pretty good skill, man. Your fucking intuition is usually correct.
So, what's happening? You have any new info for us?
No.
No?
No. Everybody knows what's going on.
Well, what happened with the airliner, man?
From what I just saw, which is the most in-depth coverage I've seen all day, it looks like it was fucking shot down. If there was an explosion on the inside, then the shrapnel holes, the cowling skin of the airliner, the airplane, the skin goes out. If it was a missile, the skin would go in. It looked like the skin was going in.
Looked like it, huh?
You can't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really tell from a fucking 10-second clip. If they would actually keep their cameras on the skin of the aircraft, whatever is left, But what could the motive possibly be? Some itchy-fingered Iranian manning a missile and fucked up? Who the fuck knows? But it's unusual.
I mean, I would think that a lot of those planes go the same path out of the airport. You know what I mean? Planes seem to take the same path out of the airport all the time, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't think that you'd be like, oh, that guy's coming. You'd think, okay, well, that guy just came the same direction as the last 20 planes. There's nothing to worry about. That doesn't really make sense. I don't know what happened, but that's not on my radar. Is an itchy trigger finger Iraqi or Iranian?
That's not on your radar. You don't think that's what it was?
No.
Well, what do you think it was? Mossad?
Well, that makes the most sense, honestly. That seems like their kind of shit, to like act like, everybody's tense, everybody's tense. We can fucking light this fire up right now. All we need is a good strike. Boom.
I'm so happy to hear you say that, Mike. You're fucking joining the team, man. I mean, I'm a little sleepy and foggy in my brain, but give me a cup of coffee, I probably would have come up with the same idea all by myself, But, everybody bashes Israel, especially me, but I don't want to fucking jump the gun from 20,000 miles away. I don't know what the fuck happened. But
well, you brought up Mossad. I didn't bring up Mossad. I mean, it looks like someone took the plane down. Okay, so I don't know what happened. It's above my pay grade, okay? But Mossad should definitely be on the fucking short list of most likely suspects, right?
By deception thou shalt make war. That's the model for Mossad, and they're masters of deception. And I got a sneaky feeling this is just going to be shushed away and hushed up, and nothing's really going to come of it. It seems like every time there's a shoot down of an airliner, it just fades into history a little bit, and then there's a bunch of theories, and then nobody ever finds out the truth. I think that's going to be one of those. We're just.
It does seem like that's how it goes. I watch these kind of things pretty closely, and it seems like they just try and make it go away as quickly as possible.
Yeah, when the United States shot down a Iranian airliner with civilians on it, 300 civilians, shot it out of the sky on a everyday run. I think they were coming from Europe to Iran, or I don't know exactly where they were going from or to, but it was an Iranian airliner, and the United States never apologized, but they killed almost 300 civilians, and they never apologize, because we don't apologize to brown people, even though Persians are.
Well, the reason that you don't
Aryan.
apologize is because if you're apologizing, then you're admitting that you did something wrong. If you admit that you did something wrong, then you'd better not do it again. But, so we're going to do this again and again and again. So we ain't apologizing because we didn't do anything wrong. This is what we do. It's like with the cops. When the cops shoot the wrong people, they don't fucking apologize. They don't admit any fault. They don't admit any fault. There's no fault at all admitted. They just what? Yeah, exactly. I was doing my job, man. So it's I don't know. I'm heartbroken over this. It's just so tragic to me that civilians get involved so fucking quickly in this escalation bullshit,
Yeah, that's the bad thing about war, is that there's so many peripheral casualties, what they call them, collateral damage. It's like these people are minding their own business. Doesn't matter what country you're in. When the bombs go off, the baker and the housewife get killed, and and then who's that guy, Pat Tillman? They make a hero out of him as an excuse to continue a war, and it's all everybody's being played all the time by the narratives that are spun by the mainstream media. So I'm really glad that we have alternative media, and we're able to get to the truth on a lot of matters, and the powers that be, whoever the fuck they are, have to change their strategy to do a lot of false narrative and astroturfing to try to poison our our minds, so that we don't
our environments. I guess that's part of the way they're poisoning us, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, our environment, So I'm glad we didn't go to war. Looks like everything's going to be cool for a while. I think Iran scored some points in the global theater, and Donald Trump, is walking around with toilet paper sticking on his shoe. It's like I don't know, man.
I think Trump looks like a fucking. I think Trump looks like a fucking idiot. Iran comes out. He pulls this major assassination. The Iran missile strikes 2 of our bases in Iraq, and then a couple hours later, he comes out and says that that it looks like Iran is back down. Right? Well, were they missile striking our bases before you assassinated this guy? Because otherwise, it don't look like they fucking backed down, does it? And they just something just hit the green zone a couple hours ago. Like some kind of rocket or something.
Right, yeah. And, just as in a conversation between two people, there's a lot of subtext going on. There's unspoken messages when you're watching two people talk on TV or whatever. Just I haven't heard any reports on this, but I'm sure you'll agree that just the fact that the Iranians could specifically target empty dirt fields really near to U.S. soldiers on purpose sends the message that, hey, we know exactly what we're doing. Our targeting facilities are extremely high caliber. And just imagine if we had targeted your soldiers. That was the subtext, the message sent by targeting those empty dirt fields. It wasn't some accident.
Right.
So that's the subtext.
Yeah, that's exactly. I said that to to Dwayne when he called before too.
Oh.
Yeah, I told him. That's what I see happening is that they fucking purposefully, no casualties. They've targeted areas to make clear that we can precision strike you just as much as you can precision strike us, and you better fucking lay off. Because you're a lot closer to us than we are to you, or whatever.
And I'm glad that our president speaks with such passion, and he doesn't, he comes off like a passionate, well thought out, legitimate thinker, rather than these other presidents, that are like robots that can't read a teleprompter. Trump just trumps them all, I think. He's just awesome, and little by little he's going to make America greater and greater and greater until finally we all realize how cool he really is. And he's like a master chess player, like playing 13-dimensional chess with aliens and Iranians and everybody. Even Aquaman. He's got Aquaman in there playing chess with him, too. Like fucking Trump is like Q squared. He's like Q squared. I'm glad he reads a teleprompter. I'm glad he doesn't act like a robot reading a teleprompter.
He's just crazy, man. I don't know. He's just crazy, and it's it's like that. We give Trump a list of fucking retribution, and he picks the one that's gonna fucking put the whole world on the edge of World War III. And he picks the worst one. Well, he's getting some pretty shitty guidance from the Pentagon then too, if they're the ones who laid out these potential fucking targets and the worst and you know what I mean? It's just I feel like we can do better. I don't look. This is the deal. We need fucking clear thinking people, in charge of this shit. People.
You ain't gonna get it.
People who want peace. People who want us all to live in harmony. And for whatever reason, we can't get anybody who actually fucking. Go ahead. Never mind. Go ahead.
Well, wouldn't that be great if Bernie and Tulsi ran on the same ticket? That might be able to beat Trump right there, I think. Maybe.
I think it sounds like a great idea. Now I guess we have to get Bernie nominated.
Yeah, I'm just, if you look at all these different president styles, they're kind of catering to the lowest common intelligence level of that era. Like Clinton was yeah, well,
Well, let me tell you something. I recorded an interview with Andrew Yang today, okay, on The View, right, talking with the ladies of The View. And I am incredibly disappointed in Andrew Yang. And let me tell you why, because of exactly what you just said, okay? What I see when we talk about countries like Iraq and Iran is I see these presidents like Trump and Bush. I can't remember if Obama did it. I don't think he did. But they say Iraq and they say Iran. And the country's name is Iraq. And the country's name is Iran. And the reason that they say it, even though they have about 50 world diplomats a day explain to them how to pronounce the fucking name of the country, and it's been done to them 10,000 fucking times, they say it wrong in order to poison the brains of Americans and make them all look stupid. Okay? You don't say Israel, do you? No, you say Israel. You say Iran. You say Iraq. And if you say it wrong, you look like a stupid fucking hick who never fucking traveled out of your fucking cul-de-sac. Okay? So please, get it right. Show the tiniest amount of respect and act like, and stop letting these fucking evil people poison your brain to make you look stupid. No offense there, Michael.
Think about people in past centuries, where it was normal to burn an apothecary or a midwife at the stake, and just all you had to do to sway the population was say, she's consorting with the devil. And so we kind of moved out of that era, and then it's like black people only have a third of the value of human beings, for 400 years, black people only had a third of the value of human beings. And if you lose hundreds and thousands of them over the side of the ship, on the way to America from Africa. That's no big deal because they're just a commodity. So we moved out of that in the 60s, not long ago, and then the black people and the Indians and, the Japanese, they all had to kind of, fight their way up the social ladder to get some basic human dignity and be recognized as human beings. And now we got the gay people are still being bashed, and I don't bash gay people. I don't necessarily
fucking stoners are being bashed, okay? You talk about, you watch on the mainstream media, every time they talk about legalizing marijuana, they got some lame crack about fucking smoking weed. Like those people are somehow fucking, it's okay to fucking make fun of them, like they're.
I pressed the button. Yeah.
You say these people are getting picked on, these people are getting picked on. Fucking stoners have to fucking hide who they are so that they can keep their jobs and shit. Okay, that's actually the world that we live in. It's not something like, that's how it used to be for us. No, that's how it is now for us. Okay?
Right, yeah, you're right. Because I'm watching you on YouTube right now, taking a hit, and that's no different than they're here? Okay, I got to go, Mike.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
That's our buddy Michael from Southern California. Hopefully it's not the cops that are here. He had the cops at his house last night because of heroin dealers. All right. So, here we are, people, in space. Look at this beautiful blue-green jewel. Actually, that's a little on the brown side. I really expect her to be much more green. Wow, she's so brown. Look how brown she is. Where is that? Anyways, all the people that live on this planet, all of them are my brothers and sisters. Until they make it clear to me in some violent action or some derogatory statement towards me, they're my brothers and sisters. And still even after that. You can hear how I deal with the trolls. I'm not trying to, excuse me. I'm not trying to chase them away, so to speak, because I think that this is something that's in them. This is something that's in them, and for whatever reason they want to act out. It's okay. Go ahead. You're not going to hurt anything here. You might take up a minute or two of our time on your nonsense, but that's okay. If you need that, if that's something that you need is to troll someone, it's okay. Actually, somebody who did a troll last night wrote after the show and apologized for trolling. According to Craig. I didn't see it, but Craig doesn't make shit like that up, so. So that's where we're at. Here in space, doing space dabs with the Mox News Ninjas. And I only have that one clip for tonight. Oh, I do have the fucking tiger clip. You want to see the fucking tiger clip? I only have the one clip for tonight because, I got caught up in a bunch of C-SPAN stuff. And I wasn't able to do a whole bunch of other things except for the one clip that we played because I wanted to bring you up to speed. And again, this whole airliner thing really kind of hit me a little on the heart. Hit me in the heart, kind of hard. So, but if anybody wants to call, lines are open and operators are standing by. It's 805-669-6397. That's 805 Mox News. Call now. That's my announcer voice. Good. You like that? I gotta make a couple of quick announcements for my weed videos. Come and start doing weed videos. I'm gonna do it's going to say, this video is intended for adults in a free society. So if your mommy or your nanny state government gets angry with you for watching it, don't blame me. How's that? I like that. For the YouTube censors, who can't wait to do more censoring, because that's what they do. That's their job. They censor. Oh, are you calling? Oh, I must have. Oh, I put on the no. Oh, I put on the do not disturb. I'm so sorry. I put on the do not disturb because Michael was talking and somebody was calling through, and I was like, okay. So I took off the do not disturb so you can call now, and it should work. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I apologize. I need a drink of water. I think it'll work. I took off the do not disturb. I'm pretty sure. Someone should call so I know if the do not disturb is off. Craig. All right. There's a caller.
You take this call.
I push in one. All right. There's another caller. Thank you. Hello, caller. How are you?
Yo, Mox. Doing well. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just a little bit heartbroken from the whole, airliner. I hate civilians being like, already, scooped into the fucking World War III or whatever we got going on here.
Yeah. Those were, majority Canadian, majority Iranian casualties, and a lot of those casualties, I think at least like 14 of the Iranian casualties were some of the brightest young Iranian minds in Iran that they were heading back to their, country.
Yeah.
And they were killed.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad.
The reason why I wanted to call tonight, I just want to bring everybody's attention to a tweet by President Rouhani of Iran on January 6th. And he's referring to Trump. He says, those who refer to the number 52 should also remember the number 290, hashtag IR655, never threaten the Iranian nation. So I find this very, just almost too coincidental that he would give this deliberate threat in reference to a civilian airliner being downed, and then this flight, being sabotaged 5 minutes into flight.
So who gave that threat?
So this was tweeted out on January 6th by President Rouhani. And
Okay.
he said on Twitter, those who refer to the number 52, as Trump said the 52 pre-selected site,
right,
should all remember the number 290, which is the number of casualties on Iran Flight 655. And then he says, never threaten the Iranian nation.
Okay.
And they say this is, this is just a slap in the face. But and then their whole premise here is hashtag severe revenge. Remember that?
Yeah.
How this was a revenge thing here. And I don't think anybody's talking about this tweet.
What was a revenge? What was a revenge now? The airliner?
Well, right. The United States shot down an Iranian civilian flight.
Okay.
And killed 290 civilians.
So you're talking about something that happened previously, not last night.
Correct. I believe this happened in the early 90s.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, it was 1988, actually, the 3rd of July.
Okay.
But I just think this is something huge. I think if anything, it's extremely coincidental. I mean, if you look at the FAA experts who have analyzed, crash site pictures, they show no deep, singular deep impact crater. So that means there must have been an explosion and scattering of debris and fuselage. The Iranians will not hand over the black box under international law. Every country has control of a downed civilian crash site. So if Iran doesn't want anybody in there, they're not going to get in there.
Well, they've invited the Canadians and the Ukrainians to be part of the investigation. And the Ukraine, I think the Canadian, I think they're both already sending teams there. So,
are they going to allow them access to the black boxes?
I think that they're going to allow them access to everything. They're going to be part of the investigation. They want them to be part of the investigation. That's why they were invited.
Well, we'll see what they allow them.
Yeah, we'll see.
To access.
I mean, they didn't have to allow them to come in the first place. They invited them. You know what I'm saying? They want them to see what happens. They want them to see the same thing that they see so they can go back and report what happened.
So then that leads me back to this tweet.
Yeah.
Why does he say those who refer to the number 52, which means planned attack sites, should also remember the number 290, IR 655? So he's referring to a pre-selected attack site, 52 sites that Trump, pre-selected.
Right.
Then he's referencing an attack, maybe an imminent attack on a civilian, airliner.
He's pointing out that, I think he's pointing out a reason for what happened. I think he's pointing out, history so that he's saying we're not the only ones who did shit,
Yeah, and if you would think, well, why would they kill their own people? I don't know how many Iranians died. I think close to maybe 100 Iranians died on the flight. I think 70 some. They don't care about their own civilians. They'll take them out. They're just pawns in the game of chess.
Well, I mean, I think that I don't know where you get this information, okay? But do you think that the Pentagon somehow feels differently about our civilians?
No, well, what are you trying to get at there?
I mean, that's just the way the military mind works. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Right. Yeah, I just see that. I think the Western intelligence kind of sees this as a fact, but they can't really admit it because that would necessitate a response. And I think Trump kind of overstepped here when he took out Soleimani, and he wants to de-escalate. I think it's a matter of Trump wanting to de-escalate in a way.
I think it's very clear that Trump wants to de-escalate. I think that Trump did what he did, and then the whole world went, World War III, and that was like the #1 trending thing on Twitter, which Trump lives on fucking Twitter, and he's like, holy shit, what did I do? I don't want to start World War III.
Exactly. The situation got out of Trump's hands.
Yeah.
And he was the one who de-escalated. And mark my words here, Iran isn't finished. Iran will continue to attack. This isn't the end of it. This isn't the end of it at all. And they're openly admitting that. I know their foreign minister isn't saying that. He's saying, this is, we want de-escalation, basically. But the Ayatollah and other officials, they're coming out and saying, this isn't it. This was just a slap in the face.
Yeah, right. That's what I heard him say, too. I believe that's a direct quote, what you just said, a slap in the face.
Yeah, so if that's a slap in the face, would you slap somebody in the face who just killed your #2, in your country? If that's a slap in the face, what is going to be a body blow?
Well, this is just to get their attention. That's what the missile attack was. It was just to get their attention. Do we have your attention now, Trumpy? So
this was a total fail by Trump. I mean, Trump said, if you attack, we will, attack 52 sites.
Yeah.
And I mean, he
and then a couple hours later, he comes out and says, well, it looks like the Iranians are backing down.
And that's problematic because now Trump can't be trusted.
Trump can't be trusted, dude. Nothing that comes out of his mouth can be trusted. He's a horrible human being.
He's giving mixed signals to world leaders, on foreign policy and,
Hasn't he done that every step of the way, though? On everything, pretty much? I mean, he's a very confusing guy. As part of his strategy is that nobody can understand him. That's why he can't have a press secretary that does regular daily press briefings like every other president before him has.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, this is here's the thing. Either Iran did this attack.
Right.
Or
by that you mean the airliner, right?
Right. This getting back to what this call-in was all about.
Yeah.
Or the issues at Boeing are way deeper and more catastrophic than we could have ever imagined. I would not get on a Boeing if I was, flying tomorrow, if that was the case, because this wasn't a 737 MAX. This was just a regular 737-800.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and
that plane blew up in the sky, man. So I don't think that has anything to do with Boeing. It would be very remarkable if that actually had something to do with Boeing.
So,
like you're saying, if that was some kind of catastrophic failure of some sort, mechanical, that would be the end of Boeing. Boeing would be done, out of business.
I mean, but how do you explain that catastrophic failure? Moments after launch, after it was just serviced, it's a 3-year-old plane. I mean, these these pilots had over 10,000 hours of flight. Some of the most experienced pilots that the Ukrainians had.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And they said, but they said that the plane just went through a checkup yesterday or 2 days ago, and
January 6th, yeah.
Yeah, and then
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I believe that Western intelligence knows that the Iranians took this plane down in revenge, severe revenge, in their words. And Rouhani said it himself on January 6th, the day before it happened, that they were going to do this.
Well,
and we can't act upon it, because if that was the case, if they threw, 15 ballistic missiles at 3 of our bases in Iraq, and they also downed a civilian airliner, then we would be forced to respond militarily, and we would be in a war. And I don't think we want to do that. I think, like I said, Trump really overstepped here, and I think he got himself in a load of shit, and I don't know what,
Yeah, we're all in a load of shit right now. It's not just him. He got us all in a load of shit, dude. And hopefully there's somebody who's smart enough to get us the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like whether you believe in coincidence or not. But like I said, it's either the Iranians sabotaged that plane, or the problems at Boeing are way worse than we thought. It's one or the other. So, I don't know.
Or the Americans shot down the plane, right?
No, there's no way there's no way the Americans shot down that plane.
Okay.
Because
American air bases just got hit in Iraq, and Trump's not going to take shit off nobody because he's a big, strong man, leader, but he would never do that, right? I'm just saying, the guy's a thin-skinned hothead, and he's got his finger on all the buttons, and the Iranians put a bounty on his head, and so he's got a fucking, major hard-on for them even more now. So, I don't. It seems like some kind of tit for tat. They hit us, hit him back now, hit him hard. I don't know what's going on. It's above my pay grade, but I'm not going to sit here and act like that's not a possibility, because that seems like exactly how the Pentagon and Mossad both work.
Well, it's also how the Iranian government works. They're fucking crazy.
The Iranian government doesn't go around shooting down their own planes, dude. In their fucking just left one of their airports. They don't do this, dude. It's not what they do.
They just killed 1,500 of their own civilians in protest. Shot them dead in the streets. Why wouldn't they take down Western civilians and then a couple of their own? If they do 1,500 of their own people, then they're going to do.
Because then no one would ever travel to their country again.
We can't anyway. Americans can't anyway, unless you're on a guided tour.
Well, Americans can't, but clearly Canadians can. And I guess a whole bunch of other people. They're actually peaceful countries that aren't at war with everybody everywhere around the world.
I think they'd be fine with that, to be quite honest with you.
What's that?
Not to have Western tourism. I mean, Iran is not a tourist-based country. That's not how their economy is, fueled. I don't think that they would see like, oh, Western tourists aren't going to come to Iran because we shot down a civilian airliner. Like Western tourists aren't going to go to Iran because it's Iran.
Well, there's other people who travel to Iran besides just tourists. There's a lot of business people who travel.
Mainly Chinese now, and
I don't know. But regardless, if you're known to be shooting down fucking civilian airliners, people aren't going to travel there no more, are they?
I don't think they're counting on people to travel there. I don't think they care.
Of course they are. What do you think? That was one flight this month that had civilians in it? No, it's a busy airport. There's people going everywhere in the world. Okay, we keep being told they need to act like a normal country. They are a normal country, except for what the United States does to them.
No, their government is not normal, though.
Well, no, it's a fucking theocracy, which is fucking a load of shit. Any fucking country, Israel, that claims to be of a religious nature is garbage.
Well, why can't
fucking Saudi Arabia, fucking America.
They to shoot down their own airliners. They might. I mean, getting back to
they won't. This is something that you wouldn't do.
The missile attacks begin. The airliner goes down.
It's impossible to do business after you do that. Iran wants to do business. Okay? So you're really not. I mean, I don't know why you want to be somehow in denial about this, but that's not something. It could have been an accident, like someone said earlier, a hot-headed trigger finger guy, who got jumpy, adrenaline rush, whatever. But there's no way this was an attack, a purposeful attack by Iran. There's just no way, dude.
I don't know. Like I said, I'd go back to Hassan Rouhani, talking about those who refer to the number 52 should also remember the number 290.
Which is about, right, because he's saying, oh, well, you're talking about this evil thing that we did. How about when you killed all these civilians?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Mike. That was the only specific event that Rouhani cited in his never threaten the Iranian
Trump
nation.
Only cited
he didn't
one.
talk about
Trump
any
only,
of the other, actions by the United States except that one specific action, 1988.
Yeah, I hear you. It seems like an awfully big coincidence, and I'm telling you, I do not believe in coincidences. Okay, so whenever this shit looks like it smells bad, it fucking smells bad. So I hear you.
Also, is nobody's talking about it, and that's that's why too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll leave it at either Iran did it or the problems at Boeing are way worse than we thought. So thanks for having my call, Mike. And
man, thanks for calling. I really appreciate it. Hope we hear back from you soon.
Bye.
Stay cool.
Yep, later.
I should have got his name. I didn't. I'm not sure what his name was. Sorry, but thanks for calling. It's and thanks to all the callers here. I turn the do not see. Craig wants me to turn the do not disturb on when I get a caller. Oh, there I got a caller. Hello, caller. Hold on one second. Craig wants me to turn the do not disturb on when I get a caller because Craig's making podcast out of all the live shows and then uploading the podcast to, I think he said Anchor or something. So Anchor podcast. I don't know what the fuck it is. But he says that when you're listening to it on the audio and it's like burp, burp, burp. It's like it really kind of breaks. It really is not very pleasant.
On the receiver?
When it's the call waiting thing, he says the call waiting thing is horrible. So, anyways, how's it going?
Oh, I'm doing all right, Mox. I was just listening to the program, and I'm going to reserve judgment on the airplane crash. I'm not going to. I don't really have an opinion per se about it. I understand the arguments on why Mossad would do it. I can see the reasoning why CIA or Department of Defense would do it. I don't really see why Iran would do it.
Yeah.
Because as others have noted, 82 of the people were Iranians.
Yeah.
And certainly if there were Canadians and Swedes and Brits and Germans on that plane, the last thing they would want to do is kill people from NATO or Western countries to further inflame animosity towards Iran.
Right.
So I think the odds of the Iranians doing it from a strategic or tactical perspective would be foolish. And a good example of that is the fallout from the Ukrainian airplane that was shot down in that Integrum airspace, right, between Russia and Ukraine in the Donbass, where they're having their war.
Yeah.
You know, and remember a civilian airliner was shot down?
Yeah.
And remember the hostility that was projected, I mean, by the Dutch and by other people who had nationalities on that plane, and it just totally fed the animosity towards Russia, who to this day claims they had nothing to do with it.
Right.
And if it was some errant people on the ground, so be it. And they claim the missile even came from the other side, from the Ukrainian fascists who were in power.
Yeah.
So, you know, nobody even knows the answer to that question. Now, in this case, what I found out, you know, really quickly, was that there have been over 10 crashes of this airplane since 2006, this very same model of airplane. And that includes, you know, crashes from September 2006, May 2007, February 2009, January 2010, May 2010, August 2010, March 2016, April 2018, September 2018, and then the one today, all over the world. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know these planes fly a lot, right? So maybe that's great, a good track record.
Right.
But still, you know, to say that, well, this plane was well constructed and it was perfectly maintained.
Okay, well, hold on one sec. Okay, here.
I'm listening.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I have this clip here, clip 2, and clip 2
Ukraine Airline says the aircraft was newer, built in 2016, and was cleared after a scheduled maintenance test just 2 days ago. They dismiss any error by the crew, saying between them they had tens of thousands of hours of flight experience on 737s.
The crew is experienced.
The data shows that this airplane completely disappeared at 7,900 feet. That is very suspicious. Only two things could cause that: a bomb or the aircraft being shot down.
It's in 5,000 feet off the ground, 10 miles from the airport, and the data stops. The jet
ABC
falling from the sky.
That's American
What could cause such a catastrophic crash?
American,
A mechanical failure, a bomb, or a shoot down. A theory getting attention because of the heightened tensions in Iran. Some are pointing to what appear to be shrapnel holes in the pictures of some of the wreckage, similar to what was found in the Malaysian Flight 17, which was shot down over Ukraine.
It could be this, right? Those are the three choices.
Right. They added the mechanical failure, but this expert earlier said what he said was this plane is at 7,800 feet, and it just vanishes off the radar at 7,800 feet. And he said the only things that can make that happen are a bomb or being shot down. Okay, so we're all on the same page. That's the page I'm on. Yeah, those were the choices.
I hear you.
Yeah,
those were the choices. All right. So I would encourage your readers to go right now to where I have mentioned before. It's called the Moon of Alabama, and it's a website that focuses on military stuff and military strategies and so on and so forth. And in the post that was posted today, and the man's name is Bertrand, and he's the person who he writes the material. But the most important thing about this man's website is not his analysis per se, but it's the hundreds of people who provide in-depth analysis. I mean, like paragraphs of analysis dealing with military strategy. But Bertrand, in his first post at Moon of Alabama, said this, and this is what I wanted to note. It was an update to his story. It was posted at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast. He says this: Donald Trump confirmed that there were no U.S. casualties. The situation is thereby de-escalating as the United States will now stand down. Trump called the damage on the base minimal, even while several airplane drone hangars were obviously hit and completely destroyed with everything they contained. Iran must have had very good intelligence about the site. Trump also lauded an early warning system that he said prevented casualties. The Swiss embassy in Tehran will have a good laugh at that comment. This is the important part. Higher quality daylight pictures of the crashed Ukraine plane show, and there's a link, that at least some of the shrapnel impact holes are not holes at all, but are debris or dirt lying on top of the aircraft pieces. Additional photos, and there's another link, additional photos also show no evidence of an externally induced event. Now, I realize that the ABC news person said something different. Flight data recorders of the airplane were found. Iran will download the data from them, or if it has that capability, will ask some other country to do so. A preliminary accident report will be published after one month. Further down in comments, in this thread, there are two different people who comment about this, and one person says that it could have very well been the fan inside of the engine breaking apart. As it breaks apart, it creates all of these pieces of little metal that fly everywhere, and that in some of these 10 accidents that I listed, from the 10 years of this plane flying or 15 years of this plane flying, have similar marks of an engine fan disintegrating and going into the side of an airplane. So any photograph like that has to be taken in the context of what an airplane crash actually is. And I am not an expert, you're not an expert, and we're relying on corporate news to try and analyze something in a very brief amount of time. And all I am saying is that I would just reserve judgment. As for Boeing stock, well, naturally it went down today.
Yeah, well, I don't care about Boeing stock.
I don't either.
But
but it did.
Yeah, but and I imagine oil continued to go up today, but maybe not. I don't know. But
I know gold dropped $20 today. As soon as the president said he was going to resolve the crisis, gold had went from $15.30 to $15.90, went up $60 in 3 days, and it came back down to about $15.50.
The only reason that I lean towards there was something nefarious that happened on this plane is that, again, there was an attack on the bases and then the plane went down, right, out of Tehran.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I listened immediately following the happening, when I listened to the guys who were talking about what happened, they all kept saying they all had to add unless something happened in the air. It was like they all knew that something happened in the air. But they don't want to just say that something happened in the air. And then you've seen the videos of the plane on fire as it's coming towards the ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I understand what you're saying. It sounds like a bomb, right? I mean, that sounds a lot.
For me, what I'm saying is when I first saw the videos of what happened of the plane on the ground, is that there's shit everywhere. Okay, and that the majority of plane crashes that I've seen come down that weren't shot or blowed up in the air, come down and there's big pieces and they come down kind of in the same general area. It's scattered out a little bit, but there seems to be just shit everywhere with this plane, like it just kind of fell apart in the sky,
Like the plane that the U.S. shot down over Shanksville with the long debris field.
Well, whatever happened over Shanksville, when there's plane, what I'm saying is when there's, the Shanksville is really, it's a whole nother, it's a whole show, but I mean,
anomaly.
Whatever happened there, whatever. But what I'm saying is when you see the debris spread out so far and wide, that's what the first thing that I noticed was this doesn't look right. This doesn't look like a plane crash to me. This looks like something more than a plane crash. So.
Well, as far as motives go, like I said, I don't really think it would have been in Iran's interest to do that because of the there were Iranians on the plane and there were Europeans on the plane.
Well, for a whole lot of different reasons, it just doesn't make sense that Iran would do that in their own fucking backyard. It just doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't make sense for the Americans really to do it either.
Well, if the Americans just got hit 2 hours ago and they want to make sure that they're clear that you're not going to hit us without getting hit back, right? Which is what they keep saying.
It is really strange timing, and I can't explain it. I'm just saying that I don't really know what happened until I get some more evidence. And I don't mean evidence from ABC or Fox either. I mean just from some different analyst, and I haven't seen it.
I'm hoping to hear from the Canadian crew that has gone to fucking Iran to be part of the investigation. You know, that's what I want to hear from. I want to hear from the Canadians, because I actually I have a lot of faith in the Canadians for whatever reason. I mean, I love my Canadian brothers and sisters. I don't have really a lot of faith in the government or their media, just like ours. But hopefully we'll hear something.
Has agreed to allow Canadian investigators, and they'll work with them. But they're not going to work with the airplane company or with other parties.
The Iranians have invited the Ukrainians and the Canadians to take part in the investigation. Okay, which means they are sending over their professional teams to take part in this investigation. They're going to be right there. They want the Canadians and the Ukrainians to see exactly what they see. That's what it sounds like to me. And why would you want to give the evidence to the Americans when they may have been the reason that the plane came down?
Right, which comes into this whole situation that happened with the Ukrainian plane that went down in contested space. Like there were two different investigations that came to two different conclusions.
Right.
There was an article trying to analyze about why Trump did what he did, and this was also from Pepe Escobar. But he says this, and his title of his article is "Trump to De-escalate Intel Source." Says it's most unlikely Trump will. It says it is most unlikely Trump will escalate at this point and could provide him with the opportunity to leave the Middle East, except for the Gulf states. And then it says, and this was before he spoke, but it says it's unlikely Trump will escalate because it would provide him with the opportunity to leave the Middle East, except for the Gulf states. Trump wants to get out. The fact that Israel would be hit next by Iran. The fact that Israel would be hit next by Iran will probably cause them to pull back and not order to Trump bomb Iran itself. Quote, Debka Mossad acknowledged that Iran's offensive missiles cannot be defended against in Israel. Its secret is that it hugs the ground going underneath radar screens. The source is referring to the Hovasai cruise missile with a range of 1,300 kilometers already tested by Tehran. What's amazing is that Iraq has allowed U.S. troops into their country at all after seeing over 1 million of their people murdered by the U.S., we include 500,000 dead children during the 90s, as Madeleine Albright acknowledged. The royals in UAE told me that it is because Iraq is more corrupt than Nigeria. The key question here is what happened to the Patriot missile defense system for these bases, who were on high alert, assuming this is not similar to Trump's missiles hitting empty buildings in Syria after the chemical false flag operation. I saw no report that any defense missile was working, which is to me very significant. And that caught my attention right there, because we've talked about this before with Aramco and with the defense system that the Saudi Arabians had, the air defense system that they had around these oil installations. And obviously they didn't work, whether it was a drone or a swarm of drones or a cruise missile. Something took those oil facilities out, and there weren't adequate air defenses. Yeah. Now, if they had ample warning, and there's some indication that, like, the Trump administration knew, because they had a person in Qatar, they had an emissary in Qatar that was talking with the Iranians yesterday, and they may have come to a conclusion that would enable Iran to hit a vacated airbase as a way to save face to the Iranian people. But if the Americans knew that that was going to happen, why wouldn't they use their defense system, their air defense system?
Because it doesn't work.
Exactly. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's a pipe dream bullshit. It's one of those fucking defense contracting money pits that they just keep throwing money at that's never going to work.
But the weird thing is, Mox, is that everyone claims that the Russian S-300 and S-400 missile defense systems work like 75% of the time. And they're selling them now to Turkey. They're going to sell them to Saudi Arabia. They're going to sell them. There's some talk about, Putin was in Syria yesterday. They might sell them to Syria.
Can't sell. They can't sell them to Saudi Arabia. If they sell them to Saudi Arabia, they can't sell them to Saudi Arabia because that means they'll have to be incorporated with American weapons, and American weapons won't be incorporated with Russian weapons.
Right.
Because
that's right. Just like in Turkey, and it's happening in Turkey too.
Yeah.
But Turkey is even a NATO ally.
Yeah.
And they're buying Russian defense systems. So one of the people in Olympia that I know,
which means that Turkey doesn't get F-35s. So Turkey's not getting F-35s because they bought the Russian missiles, right? You're aware of that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
They're not going to get the fancy airplane, but they get other military equipment. And remember, NATO is the empire's alliance. So they're in the U.S.'s military alliance, and they're purchasing weapons. And Saudi Arabia, I believe, is also inquiring about purchasing these defense systems. And so these countries are moving. They don't trust the American arms even. It's not even that they don't trust our military. Like, they're kind of just becoming kind of skeptical about the whole program. And it's just a matter of time, I think, before we have to leave, which is what I believe Donald Trump even said when he was running for president before he decided he wanted to be like Emperor Caligula or something like that.
Yeah, it's weird what he's got going. It's impossible to imagine what's going on in that guy's head.
It's got to be like just schizophrenic, random images of pictures all culminating in becoming the king. I don't know.
It's impossible.
He's kind of a nut job, I would say. There was a map, and this is a map that shows European
Chris, I'll be right back. Hey, you go ahead. I'll be right back, okay? You go ahead.
Sure. I will, real briefly.
Okay.
It's a map that shows European colonialism conquered every single country in the world except for 5 countries. And if you look at the map, which European colonialism conquered every country in the world but these 5, the 5 countries were Japan, Korea, Thailand, and then also like Iran, Afghanistan, and Mongolia. And absent those countries, almost every other country in the world has been either colonized one way or another by Western Europeans, which is something to think about when we look at this perspective of the world. Like, how do other people see the United States? How do other people see people from Western Europe and people from Northern Europe who've conquered parts of the world? Anyway, if other listeners are interested, the map is called European Colonialism Conquered Every Country in the World but these 5, and it's post-dated February 24, 2015.
Right on. Thanks very much for that, Chris. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. And that's about it, Mike. I just would like people to remember that, like, the Iranians never conquered anybody in the world. They didn't have colonies in South America or colonies in East Asia or colonies in Western Europe where they had some idea in their little heads that they were going to run the entire planet. These people never had those notions to begin with.
And it's kind of sick to have ideas like that. I mean, you gotta. I don't know. This is why we don't want to elect billionaires, man, because they have this idea that they're going to be king of everything one day, and they've had that idea for a long, long time, and which makes them just not safe. So the thing I mentioned earlier is Trump's failure might actually be an advertising point for Putin's defense industry in the long run. And I'll end on that note. And I don't know about the airplane. I do feel sorry about the people who died. As you know, nobody likes people to die in a violent way. Yeah, I just hate seeing civilians brought into this World War III so quickly. You know. Hopefully,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Hey, Chris. Good to hear from you.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Peace.
Bye. That's our buddy Chris from Olympia. That's my Nomo. That's my Nomo. This is Nomo. Gnomo. Nomo. Because it goes so fast, you're like, where's my Nomo? It's all Nomo, Nomo. Nomo, Nomo. Seattle sucks. Why does Seattle suck? Do you know Seattle? Have you been to Seattle? Seattle has been very, very good to me. All right, there. I turned off the Do Not Disturb, so if you want to call, you can call. I have to turn on the Do Not Disturb because Craig is making the podcast, and he says that the call waiting beep beep is like fucking just like it like makes your brain explode when you're listening to it on earpods. So, caller. Hello, caller.
Hey.
Hey.
My name is Ash Farlow. I got a YouTube channel with the same name, and I've been on YouTube for a long time. Been watching you for a long time.
Right on. What do you post on your YouTube channel? You say Ash?
Oh, I post.
Do you say Ash?
Yes, Ash Farlow.
Hey, good to hear from you, Ash. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. I would first of all, I would like to thank you for all of your years of dedicated archiving and coverage of world events. I mean, I've been wanting to talk to you for years, just to say that to you, in some capacity.
I feel the same way about Jet Li. So thanks very much. I appreciate that.
On to Iran. on to the less happy, more depressing, negative things. So, okay, so we have the earthquakes in Iran.
Right.
We have the jetliner just blowing up, which happens to have all these, Canadians on them.
Right.
How interesting. And this is literally like hours after these missile attacks. What a coincidence.
Right.
But, I don't know. I mean, something doesn't seem right about it. I mean, first of all, why is Iran not disclosing who these people are, their names? They're not putting forward the wreckage, the black box, nothing. Boeing is completely in the dark because they're an American company, which makes pretty much the only thing that makes sense about this whole thing. And then, that's like the initial reports. I was at the hospital with my mom, when we first saw this on CNN, and I'm like, hold on a second. You know what I'm saying? Rush back to the house and everything.
I hear you. I do that too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we are on the brink of war with Iran. Now, as for Iran, they think we already are at war with each other. That's the concerning part about this.
We've been fucking with Iran for a long, long time, so it's understandable why they would feel that way. Yeah,
Amen.
There's only so much. It's just such a horrible history with us in Iran that it's pretty obvious that, and like Barack Obama. Not Barack. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Ron Paul again and again talked about how sanctions are act of war. And we just put sanctions on top of these people that are just trying to make ends meet in the fucking world.
Right. Right. And Iran has been, the caller before was talking about Iran, of course, not being colonized, but they have definitely been manipulated and cajoled and nearly conquered several times, especially the last 200 years. The British with World War I, the British and the Soviet Union again, World War II, and then we have Operation Ajax with the overthrowing of Mossadegh, which was, from my understanding, the last, from that point, the last truly democratically elected leader until, I guess you could say, recently, because they do have elections in Iran. This is something that a lot of people don't hear about in the West. They do have a democracy. They are a republic. But at the same time, they also have a supreme leader. It's kind of complicated, but I just don't understand. I've heard theories, everything from metaphysical reasons why the West needs to take over Iran. I've heard reasons that we want the oil there. I'm not sure. I just think it has to do with geopolitical reasons. I mean, if we think about it, you know, we're looking at a massive war. We're talking like World War III level stuff, you know, when it comes to Russia and China being allied with Iran, also with North Korea, Syria, Lebanon. It's a very complicated situation. I see you're checking out my channel right now. Appreciate that, man.
It's a pretty nice looking channel, dude. It looks like you do good work.
Thank you. Thank you. I try my best. I wish I could put out a video every day, but personally, I just don't have the time for it.
You know, you do what you can do, man. That's all you can do.
All right. Appreciate it. But, you know, the last time I was ever in a call-in show was about 2 years ago, was when Trump did those cruise missile strikes over there in Syria. It was WBR of Boston on point. Highlight of my life. I guess no one listened to it. But, yeah, you know, the funny thing is I have people ask me all the time, you know, not like I'm, you know, some know-it-all or whatever, but what is Syria going to do if there is a war between Iran and the United States? I don't know, because Syria is more involved in Russia's camp, not Iran. So that's the thing we got to understand. Iran only came in to help fight against the terrorists.
Yeah, but Russia is involved in Iran's camp. And China is involved in Iran's camp. So it's not going to be just a matter of what Syria is going to do. It's going to be what are we all going to do? Because we're all fucked if some idiot chooses to go to war with fucking Iran.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It will just spiral out of control because, I mean, this is beyond a regional war. This is beyond war on terror. This is beyond a global jihad. This is we're talking like this is the Spanish Civil War before there was World War II. That's what this will be. This will be a war that will spiral out of control, and it will involve probably the entire world. I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of the Shanghai Pact, but Iran is looking into joining that. It's the military and economic alliance of Russia and China.
I have not heard. So is that something new?
No, that's been around, I think, since 2005 or 6, something like that.
Yeah, I know. I haven't heard talk of that before.
Yeah, and Kazakhstan, and there's a bunch of countries that are wanting to join that. And it is a formal military alliance. And, I mean, they're doing war games a lot in Siberia the last 4 years. And Iran has had observers in those, if not regular military personnel take part in those. So, and then that just plays into China and Russia sending in naval forces into the Persian Gulf to kind of stop the United States from doing anything like that's going to make a difference. I guess the U.S. doesn't give a shit, but
well, you know, I think they give a shit. This is what I was saying to the caller from Southern California last night, is that I think that you know, we're not prepared for World War III. And his response is can we ever be? Which is exactly right. I don't think it's possible to be realistically prepared, but I think that it's possible for one of these military morons in the Pentagon to convince some moron in the White House that we're prepared. And but I think everybody realized after drone strike and the Iranian general that we're not prepared for World War III, and they decided, you know, on this side of the fucking water to pull it back. That's the way I see it.
Right.
Yeah.
And regardless what the American people think about it, I mean, they don't give a shit. They don't care. I mean, I saw a poll somewhere that this war, if it ever does like fully break out, only has a 9% approval rating. This will be the most unpopular war probably in the history of the Western world, or at least the United States. NATO doesn't want to get involved. Trump is now wanting NATO to get involved. We're the ones that started this shit. That's the bottom line of it. NATO is a defensive alliance, and the U.S. keeps trying to, you know, drag all these other countries into it. And it just seems like it's the Gulf coalition with the Saudis, Israel, and the United States, and that's it. You know, and in this instance, Iran is basically, they are in the right if they do retaliate, you know. Javad Zarif, their foreign minister, is completely right when saying that with Article 52 of the UN Charter, they have every right to defend themselves, and so does every other nation on the planet Earth. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, the United States assassinates. I mean, let's get real here. That's what this was. This was a war crime. The United States assassinates one of the top generals of a foreign country. Well, and then the United States does not expect that country to respond.
Yeah. I mean, and they did respond, and I think that that they're probably going to be more I mean, but that's the point that I make too, is that he broke all these international laws. That general was invited to Iraq on a diplomatic mission to talk about fucking with ISIS, trying to keep ISIS under control. And from what I understand, that's what he did. He went to Syria and he stopped ISIS in Syria. That's the way I heard it. And that he was and that he probably has saved American soldiers' lives by what he's done against ISIS. This is what I hear. This is the guy that they're vilifying fucking up and down the fucking street like he's got no credibility. Like he's like one of the most evil fuckers on the planet. And it's just right. So wrong, dude. I mean, because you keep hearing this shit like we just want Iran to act like a normal country, and
then, like what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like we act like that,
right? Like I guess that means you want them to do high profile international assassinations. Is that what you want, or bringing the world to brink of World War III? Is that what you want? I mean, because Iran trying real hard to act like I don't see them fighting anybody. I see them helping the little guy, the Yemenis, right? They're getting squashed, and maybe they're open. They're trying to give them just the slightest little fighting chance to defend their country.
Right.
It's horrible.
Right. I mean, and that's the other thing about it is, our own Congress doesn't support what's going on in Yemen. That was Trump's first veto, was that War Powers resolution to get the hell out of there and stop funding the Saudis.
Was that his first veto? Really?
Who gives a damn? He don't care. All this man cares about is, and let's get real here. All this man cares about is what certain people want, and those certain people mostly have to do with Saudi Arabia, big money. It has to do with Israel, and that also leads into the whole religious thing with his evangelical base and this doomsday apocalyptic nonsense. And that's Trump's ideology. And did you see when Trump came out with the Joint Chiefs?
Well, do you think that you don't think that this World War III doomsday ideology is Trump's ideology? You think that scoring the evangelicals by looking like a big man in the Middle East is his ideology? He wants to keep the evangelicals.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because he if you go back in time, and this wasn't too long ago, just 4 or 5 years ago, he didn't believe in any of this. Once he gets in the White House, suddenly we got to get involved. There was a time, he wanted to be friendly with Israel, but he didn't want to give them $2 billion a year in taxpayers' money. He didn't want to send 3,500 Marines to Kuwait, and there's another 2,500, send bombers here. We needed to, this is getting ridiculous. And then you look at Sean Hannity and Fox News, which at this point is basically state propaganda. And they just, whatever Trump does is great. I can't say much about the mainstream media in general, but I mean, Fox News is especially very propagandistic at this point.
Well, I think that both sides want war quite fervently, though. I mean, it's not like just the Fox News wants war. I'm pretty sure CNN and MSNBC can't wait to have war too. They seem to be chomping at the bit for vilifying that every one of these fucking analysis when they're talking about the assassination, as you called it, and as I called it the very first day also, and almost every single international journalist who talks about this calls it an assassination. Every single mainstream media, U.S. person, talking head is like, no one should mourn for this guy, and there's millions of people in the streets mourning for this guy, and it seems like so incredibly insultive on top of this other thing, and it's like this horrible brainwashing that's just so unacceptable.
It is. I mean, it is insane. Both sides of this. I mean, like I said, you have Fox News with the evangelical thing. Now, leading into that, like you said about the left-wing media as well, absolutely. Neither side is talking about any of this man's accomplishment.
Right.
I mean, the only country that's helping the Houthis right now avoid a genocide with, again, the biggest cholera outbreak in history, indiscriminate bombing of civilian targets, is Iran. Let's get real.
Yeah.
Is Iran. IRGC, that again, that's General Qasem Soleimani. He was also doing operations in Venezuela, and guess what? The United States backed off. That's something that a lot of people don't talk about as well. When Russia and Iran got involved in that, along with the Chinese, guess what? The United States fucked off pretty quick. And the same thing happened with Syria, and the same thing that is starting to happen in Yemen, but Trump vetoed that. And I'm sure if Iran had their way with it, they'd be trying to stop U.S. imperialism in other parts of the world. But they just simply can't. There's only so much they can do. I mean, Iran is not a rich country by any means, especially with the sanctions slapped down. It makes it very difficult.
Yeah, no, it's impossible for them to really make any kind of business happen at this moment, in the world. So.
Yeah, they can't even use credit cards. There's, from my understanding, the ATMs that are in Iran have to be directly routed to either China or I think India or Pakistan, or one of those two. I don't remember. But most credit card companies are Western, so they can't operate there. They have a lot of difficulty with currency exchanges when people travel there, from what I've noticed. And it's just going to continue to get worse with them, with Trump slapping even more sanctions on. And I think what Iran should do is just completely cut off all ties to the West and just go all in with the East at this point.
Yeah,
and that seems to be the only thing that they can do to safeguard not just their national security but their economy as well.
Yeah, I think that they would be just fine with that too. I think they could be completely happy, except for the West is just going to keep fucking with them. And this is what I'm saying about the White House and the Pentagon. They act like fucking rabid dogs, And I mean, they act like the kind of rabid dogs that if they were wandering around your neighborhood, you would have a meeting about them and demand that they got put down. And if nobody else was willing to do something about it, you do it yourself.
Right.
That bad. Okay. So these people. They act like Russia and China are the most evil people on the planet. I'm not saying that they're great, because whatever the problem is with these giant governments, they seem to feel like actual freedom is somehow a danger to us all, and they have to fucking nip freedom in the bud. I don't really understand where that comes from, except for this selfish self-preservation of the people at the top,
Right. But and they don't give a damn about everyone underneath them at the end of the day. They don't care.
There's no. I don't think that anyone in the working class is being represented by a single individual in Washington, D.C. At this moment, except for maybe I think I feel like there's like a little bit of people there, like there's the squad or whatever that seems to be like speaking out a little bit, and Tulsi, I like Tulsi a lot, and maybe Bernie, but he never seems to make a whole lot happen, Bernie, so I don't know how much to believe in Bernie anymore.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've completely given up on Elizabeth Warren the last few months, especially with all those back channels with Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and stuff. What's all that about? You know what I'm saying? That was a big red flag to me.
She's one of these neocon people that are disguised as a liberal. I hate the fucking police state. I love freedom. I love the idea of freedom, There's a perfection to giving everybody their freedom. It's like, here, you go and live your life, and if it gets fucked up, well, that's on you. You know, I mean, there's, if you say stupid shit that you shouldn't be saying, or that makes you look stupid, or makes people get angry with you, then don't take away everybody else's freedom of speech because you're stupid. I mean, it's the world's gone a little. I don't understand fighting to take away rights. I don't understand acting as if somehow speech is dangerous. There's this, we're I don't want to say we're through the looking glass. It's worse than that. It's this, I see this programming taking hold of the whole fucking Western civilization. All the people with the smartphones who can't take their eyes off the smartphones seem to buy into whatever it is that they're being fed from their smartphones. I don't know. I'm a little.
I mean, the world that we're entering is a combination of the Matrix and 1984. We're talking
the 1984 part.
Dystopia.
Yeah, we've entered the 1984 part. We're fully inside the 1984 part for quite some time now. The Matrix part, I don't know here or there, but I get what you're saying. It's just, it's you don't have to see things that you don't want to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Right. And then the other thing is, when it comes to certain left-wing elements trying to change speech or, being more sensitive about things. And then you have the right where you can't talk about certain things having to do with religious holidays and other things like that. We've just gotten to a point where it's just total, complete, utter fucking insanity. No one can say anything. People are afraid. But then again, I mean, I don't know. I think this all started with George Bush. I really do. I think that this war on speech started with Bush.
We need to go back to 9/11 and start from there, okay? Because 9/11 has a lot to do with why we're at now, where we're at now, and the people that were in charge on 9/11 and all this stuff, and it's never been investigated properly. And Tulsi Gabbard is one of the very few people who have talked about this, saying that she would be happy to have new investigations and that everyone should be supporting 9/11 truth. So, and I don't know that I've ever heard a candidate say those words besides her.
Yeah. Oh, Mike, don't you know that Tulsi's really a Russian stooge?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, how dare you question Hillary Clinton? How dare you question George Bush and all these endless wars? We need more war, especially in the Middle East. That's very un-American of you. I'm shocked.
I want
Joe Biden in 2020.
I want the American people to take the American government back, and I believe the way that we can do it through a peaceful revolution is by ending the parties, by banishing all political parties, saying no political parties, by making a constitutional amendment that says there are no political parties allowed in the U.S. political system, meaning that on election day it's Americans voting for Americans. When they get to Washington, D.C., it's Americans representing Americans, not fucking Republicans voting for fucking Republicans and fucking Democrats voting for fucking Democrats and Democrats representing. That's just a load of bullshit, and it's led us to where we are right now, and the only hope of us ever getting our government back is by getting rid of those parties. That's the only way.
Right.
It's the only way.
Democrats and Republicans, man.
Yeah,
no more
exactly.
games in government.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one in the mainstream media, no one can say that. They're like, crip. How do you say this, Jesse? How do you say it? They can't even say it. They can't even say it. And that's bottom line. These people are gangs. I mean, getting to me a little bit here personally here. I've never spoken about this on my channel because it's kind of relevant, but I'll talk to you about it. I used to be a registered Democrat. I used to work for, this is going to be shocking, I know. Don't cast stones at me, people. I don't think this way anymore. I used to work for Hillary Clinton.
What?
Shocker. Legit.
Oh my God.
I was that stupid.
Wow.
And yeah.
How in the hell? When was that?
The 2016.
No way.
Legit. I'll admit it.
For what? Tell me why.
Okay. Where do I start? Okay, well, at that time, I have to take my brain back a little bit. Okay, at that time, I felt that pretty much Bernie Sanders, and I liked Bernie at that time, I still do. I thought that Bernie was dangerous.
Because
now, you got to understand, it's not me now. That's back then. That's Clinton me.
Because
I thought
because he wasn't a Democrat.
Taxes.
We what now?
Because he wants to raise taxes.
Oh,
right?
okay,
we can't have single-payer health care. We can't have Medicare for all. We can't have that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Because people will lose their jobs in the insurance industry. Okay? Then the second reason was I felt that as Secretary of State, former First Lady, Senator, she had the most experience and understanding of world events in order to be, a good president. But then, when I woke the fuck up and realized, she's an evil bitch and, there's a lot more to it. And frankly, especially with Benghazi, many other things, she is intentionally using her position to enrich herself because she's dynastic. It's the Clintons, it's the Obamas, it's the Bushes, it's all these big names in these families. It's total nepotism. And Trump is guilty of that, too. I would say Clinton even more so. This is a person who, regardless of what people might say about the Clinton body count, she is evil. Bill Clinton is evil. And then all the connections with Epstein, and I woke up, dude, big time.
I think that people just are so tired of these people too that act like, I've devoted my entire life to public service. Like you didn't just fucking milk it for all it was worth for you and your family and, public service my ass. You were there to make every fucking connection and money you could make so that you could fucking, do your evil all around the world.
Right. These are evil people.
Yeah, I could just imagine Hillary Clinton. I can't listen to her because I can't stand that cackle that she does, after she says everything. She fucking laughs at the end of every sentence. It makes me want to vomit.
I didn't even like her voice back then either. Yeah. That might have been the start of me waking up, actually.
Yeah, no, it's this thing. See, a lot of Kamala Harris does the same thing. Rachel Maddow does it a lot, where they say they tell you this horrible thing and how fucked up shit is or whatever, and then they cackle like.
Yeah.
And it's this sign of insanity or something, dude. It is. I'm like, wow, that person is seriously broken, dude.
Yeah, legit. There's something seriously wrong with these people. The whole Epstein thing,
yeah.
And I remember years ago, and damn YouTube for deleting, Alex Jones's channel over this, regardless of what people think about him. We can't even look back and say, well, I remember that, or, here's this. But he had a video way back, I think, 2010. It was in October. He spoke with David Icke, and they were talking about Epstein. And they were talking about the royal families and some other things.
Yeah.
Every single word in this video, I swear to you, I wish I had this video. I would share it with people. I swear to you. Every single thing that they said about the Lolita Express, about the flight log, every single thing was correct.
Yeah.
Every single thing. And it wasn't just the Clintons. They talked about people that were French race car drivers that were on it.
Yeah.
They talked about this temple, this Molech temple or whatever, on Little St. James or whatever his fucking island's called, as evil island. Even the guy's neighbors would say this. Even his neighbors would say, wow, sure, there's a lot of young kids over there and a lot of weird stuff. And no one cared. They talked about the judge, how there were people that met with him behind closed doors and said, hey, this guy's intelligent, you might want to back off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that. I will never forget that. And that was even with, I was like, well, those are just rumors, those are conspiracies. Yeah. And I just, stick your head in the sand. These people, I'll tell you what, liberal Democrats are people that got their head so far up their ass, they don't even know what the rest of the world looks like. There has to be a way to get these people to think for themselves.
I don't think it's just liberal Democrats. Okay, I talk about this a lot.
Conservatives, all of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think there's just this huge broadcast, wide swath of humanity that from the time they're fucking 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years old, they're just bombarded with programming that they're supposed to be this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, think this way, do this way. It's like don't color outside the lines, all this shit. From the time you're just little, and you get pushed directions, and it's really hard to break away from that. I've talked about a lot how, from at least the time I was 5 years old, people been trying to stuff me into a square fucking hole, man. And I'm just
Same here.
Yeah, I'm just not. I don't fit into your fucking square hole, so back the fuck away. So I try and cut people a lot of slack when it comes to, fucking idiot liberal douchebag Democrats, and even the idiot conservative. I hate this. I hate the social conservatives, dude. I really do.
Oh,
because
yeah. Big time.
who the fuck are you to impose your values onto my fucking world? You go and live your values. That's great for you. I'm very happy for you. I wouldn't want to change your values in any way. Why the fuck you gotta fuck with mine? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. They're two sides of the same coin. At the end of the day, you have the authoritarian left, you have the authoritarian right. At the end of the day, it's all semantics. These people want to control how we think, how we live, and now the new modus operandi is to use high technology, the Internet of Things, to the point where we're all connected into sort of like this hive mind Borg bullshit, to the point where literally, and the irony of this is, there's all these Christians that go around and they talk about the mark of the beast and stuff like that. What the fuck do they think these people want to do at the end of the day? Everything will be computers. Everything will be electronics. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Well, it depends on how you use it. Because right now we're seeing just social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. You say one little thing, they shut you up. You can't speak on their platform. It's going to get to the point where people are going to go back to the soapbox out on a street corner. That's it, if they don't beat the shit out of you or arrest you. That's the point where we're getting to. People are going to have to start talking out on the street corner because we cannot talk on mass media anymore. Who's to say in the future we can't even text each other or talk on cell phones? All that shit's fucking monitored by the NSA and Homeland Security and all this shit.
Yeah, whether you're fucking talking on it or not, they're listening to you through your fucking cell phones, dude. Just like Alex Jones said, like you said forever ago. Alex Jones, he may be crazy now, but he used to do really good work. And it's just like you said, for the short-sightedness of the people at Google to just erase all that fucking history is really it's kind of it's burning books, man. It's burning libraries.
It is.
It's the kind of thing that we all talk about how civilized people don't do, and it's kind of disgusting, and I really wish that Google would get the YouTube archive situation under control, because I don't want to see. They were just talking about how in the last couple months, CNN has had 11 million videos pulled down. CNN takes credit for pulling down 11 million videos off of YouTube, and like 3 million YouTube channels. I'm like,
yeah, I think at one point, I don't know if this is still current or not, it's 50,000 channels every day.
Yeah. So I just want to, I just want to fucking do this thing that I do, that people like you come along and thank you so much for saying, appreciate the work that I've been doing here for so long. And the work's been spread far and wide to be shared and just to inform people, just to hope that maybe they're just a little bit more knowledgeable about what's happening in the world as they go forward today, and somehow YouTube wants to act like that's a threat to their very existence.
Right. I've been wanting to thank you for so long, man. Seriously. There have been other archive channels. I don't know. how far-reaching they were, but my God, did they get knocked down quick anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, especially since 2017, 2018. I mean, when they purged Alex Jones, I think it was August of 2018 or 2017. I don't remember. Time flies.
Yeah.
They took down a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
And this is something that's not talked about in the news. I mean, I had like at least 100 channels I was personally subscribed to, just boom.
Yeah.
And many of these channels, they had archive videos like back from the 1970s of like what one channel was all like crime scene archives from like New York and Philly.
Yeah.
That inexplicably disappeared the same day Alex Jones did.
Yeah, wow.
There was another one. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. I mean, we're talking about this Susan Blugga, whatever her name is.
I just call her Google employee number 16.
Yeah.
That's the way to refer to her. That's who she is. Google employee.
Google employee number 16. I like that.
Yeah.
She is worse than Joseph Goebbels. And I'm not even getting it. Who knows who's watching. The point is, these people who claim to be anti-Nazi are themselves Nazis.
Right.
They're in the same camp. They both wear black. They both beat the shit out of people with bike locks. They both hate freedom of speech.
Right.
They're both authoritarians. That's the bottom line. And it doesn't matter what background someone is. It doesn't matter. I mean, it is the ideology that at the end of the day, all these people, doesn't matter, it's all semantics, call it fascism, call it communism. These are the same motherfuckers every single time you turn around, man.
Both sides are clearly filled with hate.
They are. They are so, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond just Charlottesville.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Charlottesville every fucking day on Twitter and Facebook. You know, just people sending bullshit to each other and everything. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And Joe Biden constantly sat around talking about saying the people with contorted maces marching out of the field with torches, contorted maces. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, man? He's saying contorted faces. But, okay, well, here's the thing, though. How come when you were vice president, now you're taking all the credit for Barack Obama, you're stealing that man's legacy? What about all the shit you did that tried to prevent that, man? You didn't do shit. All that, Donald Trump didn't start that. You inherited that. I mean, my God, I never thought that I would live to see the day that there were fucking race riots in Ferguson and Baltimore and Chicago and these other places. I mean, I do not want to go back to those days.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I do not want to go back to 500 man. I mean, and it's bad now,
man. I mean, look, I'm all for riots, but we have to come together as people to fucking stand up against the man, okay? Because it's not the race riots. That's not what we want. We want to be all together. We want to go all in on this so that we can take this fucking bullshit government, over-intrusive police state bullshit government down.
Right.
And it's going to take all of us, or at least as many of us as we can get together to come together and make that happen. Otherwise, it never will. So.
And that's true democracy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's what real democracy is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it is that people talk about the Republicans, democracy, Democrats. It's bullshit.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't believe in that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's all bought and paid for.
That's what I'm saying. It's they're just the same. Those people, the Republicans and the Democrats, have worked hand in hand to bring us to exactly where we are right at this moment. It wasn't one side or the other. They did it happily together. That's the facts.
Yeah. Right. All right. Before I go, Mike, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Where do you think this is going to lead with Iran? Like, where do you think in the progression of events, where is this going to go?
Well, what I'm hoping it's going to lead to is a massive influx of donations for like Bernie Sanders or something, and Bernie Sanders, will be able to announce, become the nominee and pick someone like Tulsi Gabbard, who is attractive to so many fucking Trump voters, and then just fucking actually stand up. Could you imagine what a Tulsi Gabbard Mike Pence debate would look like? I would pay money for that one.
Hey, man, I would too.
So,
oh my God,
let's hope for something like that. Let's hope it leads to something like that.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
He's definitely got my vote out of all the candidates. So,
well, he's looking pretty strong as far as fundraising goes. So hopefully this whole Iran, hopefully this edge of World War III will bring people to their senses about what kind of person they want to have their finger on the button.
Right. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. If there is a war and Bernie Sanders has to inherit that would be just, I don't know.
Well, I
mean, we can't take much more of this, dude. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
This gets worse.
Right. So maybe, we'll just back out. If there is a war, maybe we'll just back out of it. If a new commander-in-chief comes in and says, fuck this, we're out. I promised the people gave me their fucking power to make it happen. I'm making it happen. We're out. Done.
Right. All right, man. It was good talking to you. Thank you.
Hey, Ash, it's good to hear from you. I'm glad you joined our call, and I hope we hear back from you sometime in the not-too-distant future.
Hey, anytime, man. Anytime you're live. Thank you.
Okay. We look forward to it.
All right. Bye, man.
Stay
Love
cool.
You.
Stay cool.
You too. Bye.
See ya. All right. That was nice to hear from Ash, huh? He sounds like a very smart guy, except for the whole Hillary Clinton thing. But that's the thing is, people want to believe. People want leaders they can believe in. I really want to have a female president. I mean, I hope that I've made that clear with, Tulsi and all that. It's not just Tulsi. Because I think that a female, someone, who's like a mom or has that kind of motherly type of spirit inside of them would think twice before sending more of our brothers and sisters off to fight in a war that's completely unnecessary. There's just no reason except for to make rich fucking shitheads more rich. We don't need to do that. There's lots of ways to make money. We don't need to make it off of war. We don't need to make it off of the emergency. We don't gotta have emergencies all the time. It's like everything is emergency. Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire all the time. It's on fire. It's on fire. Oh my God! Everything's burning. We need someone who wants to fucking make it so that the earth isn't on fire anymore. That we can like relax and take a breath and feel good about our neighbors. You don't have to fear everyone and everything, because everyone and everything might be a fucking terrorist. We're at war on terror. So that's all I'm saying. Is that don't fear, don't buy into the fear, don't and you hear me when I communicate with the people. I want to be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you voted for Hillary. I understand. I mean, the choices are turd sandwich or giant douche. I get it. I get it. I've said it a million times. Turd sandwich or giant douche. I understand. So what we're doing now is... What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Okay, so someone's doing stuff on my desktop. I'm being distracted. So, okay, here's what's happening. There's an airliner that went down. It looks very suspicious. There's missile attacks that hit the American air bases very shortly before the airliner went down. The airliner went down in Tehran. it looks crazy right now. Hopefully we'll be able to, like I said, hopefully what we'll be able to do is to see that what we want really from this is to know that we want someone who is more who is a little bit calmer, who's not such a hothead, who's not so thin-skinned, who doesn't have such high blood pressure. I don't know. Donald Trump, we've watched him respond on Twitter, again and again. Okay. Miguel wants me to light it. I'll light it up in a minute, Miguel. Thank you. Okay, so Miguel wants me to light it. I'll light it in a minute, Miguel. As I was saying, we've seen Donald Trump on Twitter and other places push people around and bully people and act like, this thin-skinned, born with a gold spoon in his mouth, bitch boy, diaper-wearing baby, right? We've seen this. We've seen it. That's who he is. And now, he's acting like he can be that way towards anyone in the world. We need someone who actually wants to make deals with people. He doesn't want to make deals with people. He wants to come in and wreck deals and then go, okay, we'll deal with you. He wants to come in. Now he wants to make a deal with Iran. They assassinated one of the most beloved men in Iranian history, and blatant high-profile assassination. And now he wants to make friends, with Iran. Now we hope that Iran can come into the world community. I don't know if I shut down the phone or not. I can never tell if this. Let me see if it's on. Do not disturb. Okay, now do not disturb is not on anymore. Okay, Miguel, I'm gonna light it up. Miguel wants me to light it up, so I'm gonna light it up for my brother Miguel, and anybody else who's interested in having a puff, having a dab with my cock, let me know. Now's your chance. Man, I think I did that one a little low temperature on the last one. It's like there's a lot of oil left in there. Look at all that smoke. You guys can never see the smoke. You can never see the smoke on the camera. I got to figure out what to do to make it so you can see the smoke. I can't take bigger dabs, so that ain't happening. Hello, caller.
Michael, this is Steve McClennan.
Steve, it's good to hear your voice. Is the raft holding together?
Oh, my God, Michael, the raft is amazing. I'm just kicked back, just floating along in the middle of the ocean.
Right on.
Pretty relaxing out here, Michael. I am telling you, I've got a 8-foot by 5-foot raft completely floating. When I birthed this son of a bitch, I tell you what, I couldn't believe it. This thing just sailed on like I knew that it was my destiny to be out here in the middle of the ocean. I've seen a few airplanes fly over. I shot a couple of flash to SOS signal, and Michael, they're not picking anybody up. It's okay. They got other things to do. They're not, we can't catch a ride, but it's okay. We're keeping a positive attitude, Michael.
You sound like you got a positive attitude, Steve.
I mean, I tell you what, we're keeping a goddamn positive attitude.
Did you bring plenty of coconuts with you?
Oh, well, yeah, I got a ton of coconuts.
That's a good plan.
I'm sitting here with a coconut from a straw, and I'm drinking with a straw that I have
That's a good
I tell you what, I've been MacGyvering some shit up here on this damn luxury Mox News travel raft.
Nice.
It's amazing. We have a cup holder. The coconut just kind of sits on top of the cup holder. It's fucking, I tell you what, it's amazing. We have a fishing line currently in the water. It is attached with a bunch of lizards. Don't anybody freak out about the lizards, okay?
A bunch of lizards? No, you just want to put one lizard on, Steve.
Oh, my God. I got a bunch of lizards on this son of a bitch. I'm trying to catch me a tuna. I want to catch a big-ass tuna. I'm ready to eat some sushi. I tell you what, this is going to be amazing. We're here, Mox News Raft. We're having sushi for dinner. And we're having coconut.
Sashimi. Tuna is sashimi.
Yeah, well, God damn it. And, and you know, honestly, one of the worst parts about it is I brought along a lot of cans of food that were recovered from the helicopter. God damn it, Michael, I forgot the can opener on the damn island. This is bullshit, but we're keeping a positive attitude, I tell you what. And then I fashioned down the toilet that I found that washed up on the beach. It's all here. I am just living it up on this raft. Everybody in the entire world thinks they're so smart. Well, I tell you what, I have the fifth fucking element on tablet. I have everything I need. I have no one around me. Everyone's at war. There's shit on fire constantly. People are angry. But we're living it up over here. I tell you what, I needed this much needed break. I tell you what, this is nice, Michael. I don't know where we're going, though. Well, I don't really care.
That's the thing, Steve. None of us really know where we're going.
Michael, I need to get off here. I think I see something in the distance. I see a boat or something coming towards me or something. I don't know. I got to get off here.
Pirates?
I'm gonna shoot him with the flare gun. Okay.
Okay, Steve.
I'll fuck these motherfuckers up. I tell you what, I'm strapped with flare gun. Like I'm telling you, I'm feeling tough. I am out here in the middle of the ocean. A shark wants to fuck with me. I will fuck a shark up. I tell you what, all the animal activists. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I tell you what, if a shark tries to bite me, I'm gonna fuck his ass up. Tell you what. All right, Michael, I gotta get fucking prepared. These people might try to take all my fucking coconuts or some shit. I am not fucking around. Okay, I don't need a ride out of here.
Okay,
I don't need a ride out of here. I'm good.
Okay, Steve.
Just go on. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Go. Go. Michael, I gotta go.
Okay, Steve. Stay cool. That was Steve McClanahan. Did I say it, McClanahan? He's on a raft currently. Somewhere, it sounds like in the Indian Ocean. From what he was saying yesterday. All right, so what a great show. What a great show. You guys really, really make the show. You guys, just like you've always made Mox News YouTube page, you know, it's you guys who give the show flavor. It's you guys who make it fun and interesting, and I'm glad that you're here. So thanks so much for tuning in. We're doing this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. So if you haven't joined us yet, be sure and tune in for our next show, because you never know what's coming. There's a fucking tiger. Fucking tiger! You never know what's coming. So, I love the fucking tiger clip. See that? Because guy, he stops. He's like, oh. I love that clip. Alright, so I think I put this on. Let's see. Do not disturb. 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 It's off. So if anybody wants to call, this is your last chance. I'm out of clips. And I feel very satisfied about the show we did tonight so far. I'm really pretty good with it. So if anybody wants to if anybody wants to donate, Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like you. If you could just kick down for a pizza. If you kick down for pizza, it's like you totally make my day. So, thanks very much. We got a caller. Hold on. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hi, Michelle. How are you? I'm good, thanks. How about you? How's it being back to work?
Oh, shoot. You know how it is. Take care of business. Work is work. It's all good. You know, I'm blessed to have a job, so it's all good. But how you been?
I'm good. I'm just cruising, Michelle. I'm doing my thing. I'm a little bit like heartbroken. You know, I'm a very heartfelt guy, and I'm a little bit heartbroken over the plane getting shot down in Iran. Or I don't know that it got shot down, but it kind of looks like it got shot down, and I'm a little bit that kind of bums me out. But other than that, I'm pretty darn good. We went for a nice long walk, me and the dogs today, and I think it's gonna snow. They said it's gonna snow here for the next 10 days.
Oh man, that's cool. I love watching it snow.
The dogs love the snow, man. As soon as Rufus, as soon as it starts to snow, he comes running and starts barking at me like, you know. I'm like, what? And he's like, come on. And open the door, and he goes out, and he just like rolls in it and starts making snow angels and stuff.
That's so fucking cute, man. Shit.
Yeah, he loves it.
Oh my gosh. So what was today's topic?
Oh, we're talking about the airliner that got shot down.
Okay, yeah. Shit. What a mess, though. What a mess that we're in now, huh, with Iran?
It's really scary.
Oh, my God. It is fucking terrifying. I was like, God dang. I said, well, all we can do is just keep living day by day, and Jesus, Lord help us, you know?
Well, we just keep moving forward. We'll get through it. We've been through the shit before. We'll get through the shit again. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? We keep moving forward. You know how it is. You know exactly what I'm saying. We just keep moving forward, man.
It's fucking crazy, man, because Trump just gave Iran, like, credibility. You know, now Iran's like, oh, well, we're going to keep doing this, you know, with the nuclear enrichment and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, now all of a sudden they're like the victims, which, you know, was right, because what the hell was Trump thinking? It's like, does he not understand what the fuck is going on? Like, when he goes and assassinates somebody else in another fucking country, like, dude, oh my God. He's something else.
It seems...
Did you see that interview with Tulsi? When she had said on there that, yeah, my friends told me they're, you know, are, you know, enlisted and everything. And she was like, and they just asked me, like, what the fuck? She said it flat out in an interview. I was like, hell yeah, she don't give a fuck. Oh, my God.
She's great, isn't she? I really like her. I really, really do.
Yeah, I do, too. I was like, shit. She knows what it is, you know, about, you know, going to war and everything. And fucking Trump is acting like, well, you hurt my feelings.
You know what it is that she's trying her best to be honest with the people. It seems like, you know, as where do you see that, you know?
You don't.
Yeah. So.
No, but man, we're in fucking trouble. I'm telling you. I was like, oh
I don't know. I don't know that we're in trouble yet, but you know, we're on the edge of trouble, and it's really fucking pathetic that some fucking whiny fucking wannabe fucking douchebag takes the whole world to the edge of fucking panic, you know.
Cut it, Bone Spurs, motherfucker.
Yeah, Captain Bone Spur, exactly.
God. I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, he did this just from his own feeling. He's like, well, I'm just going to do it, and, you know, like, no consequences to anybody else. I was like, do you understand reality? You fucking buffoon. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, he says
shocked, and oh my God, Fox News, I was watching some of their shit just to laugh, you know, for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And he's over there trying to fucking, well, he was a bad man. He was a bad... Son of a bitch, man. I was like, he was, yeah, a bad guy, but he was fucking, you know, getting rid of ISIS and, you know, fighting against those guys and shit like that.
Yeah.
But to say that we had to assassinate them because they were going to do something to us, so, you know, we wanted to get them first. Like, what? Like, oh my God. I don't know. This fucking president is really something else.
It's our country. The leadership in our country is just horrible, you know, and we have to do something about it. It's on us. It's our country. It's our leadership. We are supposed to be the ones who choose it. We have to figure out a way to make a better plan because we are not being represented well. That's all I'm saying.
And, you know, it always happens like that, doesn't it? When they have a Republican president and then a Democrat president, the Democrats spend all their time fixing what the Republicans did. Now they get it even keeled, so to speak. The Republicans come in again and fuck everything up. And then, so what? The next Democrats got to come in and clean this shit up? It's like he's making us look like a fool around the world. Like, my God, I'm so ashamed of this shit. Like, damn. You know, it's like we're the ones who are going to every other country and starting, you know, wars or fight or gotta, you know, change this regime or whatever, you know, to benefit the United States. It's like, who really is a terrorist? We're the ones going everywhere. Our military's all over the fucking world. Why?
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
I've said a bunch of times in the last few days that we're acting, you know, our White House and our Pentagon acts like a fucking rabid dog, you know?
Yeah.
And we all know what we do with rabid dogs, you know?
Well, they're all fucking greedy. All they see is what does the other country have that we can, you know, prosper on. That's all it is. They don't give a flying rat's ass about anybody else but themselves. It's like, how much money do you fucking need that you will not even be able to spend in a lifetime? But that evil fucking thing, you know, money is greed, is void. Oh my God. It's just unimaginable that people still like, oh yeah, you know, well, go get them, U.S., fuck Iran. It's like, do you even know what the fuck you're talking about? I've been hearing this shit at work, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I hate this ooh-rah shit. All right, well, you go ahead and you go over there and you fight them. You send your children over there to fight them. Fuck this, you know. I mean, because it's got the people who want to go, you know, are all gung ho to go fight. They should be the first ones to go be signing up to go fight, you know, because the last thing it's just not right that the other people's kids got to go and die while they're fucking all ooh rah, fuck you, asshole, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, as much money as, you know, us taxpayers has pumped into the military, they should be more than ready for the fucking war. But why not fight it if it comes into the United States? You know, because they're like, oh, we're all threatened by this.
Exactly.
Exactly. I see people out on the goddamn beaches and out there fucking having parties and gatherings and whatnot.
We're so prepared to do war at any moment, and you know, you give us 1 second notice and we can be wherever and fucking go fuck shit up. Okay, so we're prepared to do war anywhere on 1 second notice. Why the fuck do we have to be, you know, fucking shit up? You know, and when it's not called for at all. Okay, if there's actually some reason that it has to happen, then okay, it has to happen. But that's not where we're at. That's not what I see happening. I see us going around and saying, no, we own everything. Fuck you.
All the fucking terrorist bullshit that's been happening here in the United States of America has been all homegrown motherfuckers who've been shooting up fucking places and everything else.
Yeah,
you know?
Crazy people.
And they're all what? You know, I'm not being racist, but they're all Caucasian. They're the ones over there fucking losing their minds that the racism is taking over them and everybody must die and shit.
No, it's crazy people. Look, they're crazy people. If you're opening up fire on people, on innocent civilians, people you don't know, all there is to it is that they're crazy people. Okay?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what color they are or whatever. And it never should matter. I mean, look, and those people should feel sorry for them because somehow we let them down, really. You know, I mean, we all deserve a better fucking world than this, and we could make it happen, but instead we're all divided down, and I mean, I don't mean to be giving understanding to people that are, shooting up other people. I'm just saying that they're crazy people, and we're not. That's what always seems to get lost. This is what I don't understand: is that this guy shoots up a theater full of fucking people at the premiere of a Batman movie, and then we have to do a psychological evaluation to see if he's fit to stand trial. Well, clearly he's fucking crazy. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? We have to find out if he's crazy or not. He's fucking crazy. Put him somewhere where you put crazy people. Well,
yeah, but Mike, there's a fine line between fucking, because right away they want to say he's mental illness. Motherfucker, he's not mental illness. He's just fucking crazy. And that's what they want to fucking say.
Yeah, no, mental illness is something that can be dealt with a pill. Crazy is something where you have to lock people up or make sure that they're in some kind of situation where they're not able to hurt other people. Because that's what crazy people do.
Yeah, and the ones that have been shooting up and all this other fucking, just crime, I mean, just murder, all the way around, no matter, and you're right, it's not about, race or nothing like that. But the media makes sure, if it was a black guy that was out there fucking shooting up motherfuckers, they would be in front row. Fucking every fucking news media would fucking, show it. But whenever it's a fucking white guy doing that shit, they're just all like, well, he just misunderstood. What the fuck? That's why I'm saying it as, I'm not trying to be...
Right, no, I hear you. When it's black people, it's all they're automatically gangsters and all this shit. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And then we go over there to all these countries and start fucking, we want to change the regime, because we want them to be more Republican.
We just want them to be like normal country. We just want them to be a normal country. That's what they keep saying about Iran. We just want them to be a normal country.
It's their goddamn business. Who are we to fucking be the judge?
What the fuck is it?
In their fucking country.
What the fuck is a normal country? Someone that goes around assassinating people? Is that what a normal country does? Is that what you want? Fuck you. Give me a break.
That's where we live.
Yeah.
That's where we live, Mike. We're going to be the ones to fucking go around and be so judgmental that this country needs to live like this. This country needs to live like that. Goddamn, United States, mind your own goddamn business.
Yeah.
If they come to our land and they start shit on our turf, as much money as the military has, I'm sure they can defend us. But why are we going to other countries and looking for trouble? If that was a bad guy that we killed, or that fucking Trump assassinated in Iran, if it was so fucking bad, why haven't we, been felt with the, repercussions of this madman? How the hell did he hurt us?
I don't.
Over there in the Middle East, that's none of our goddamn business. And here we go again. Iran's got a bigger fucking and more, intelligent fucking armed force. That, man, you don't know what the hell he's doing. This is going to be horrible. Well, fucking time to do it.
Again, I hope that this is something. It sounds like from the callers and stuff, Michelle. What I've been hearing is that people who are saying that they at one time supported Trump are having giant second thoughts, like giant buyer's remorse. They voted for Trump because they couldn't vote for Hillary, but now Trump is just pushing more and more for war, and they can't support that. So what this may lead to is, like Bernie Sanders getting the nomination and becoming the president.
And you can't blame, some of the Trump supporters because they believe, what they hear. And Trump's a good, he's a TV show guy, whatever.
He's an entertainer.
Get him on his side,
He's an entertainer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And people fall for that, and whatever. But it's like, now is the time, okay, well, now you realize, but we got to make a fucking change because this motherfucker here, it's like the whole world is unstable now because of this shit, you know?
Well, it's I think it's going to be okay, Michelle. I really do. As long as this airplane thing doesn't escalate, because if this airplane thing escalates, then it could get bad.
Well, not only that, look at they already bombed over there. They said over there in Iraq that Iran had fucking sent bombs over there and shit, right? You hear that?
Yeah, they hit 2 U.S. bases in Iraq. But they called the Iraqis an hour before they launched the missiles, and they said, hey, we're going to hit these bases, so you might want to get your guys out of the way. And the Iraqis told the Americans, hey, they're going to hit the bases. We got to get these guys out of the way. And nobody got hurt.
Man, I tell you. But why does Trump going on Twitter and saying, what's the update? It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, man.
That's his thing. He's a bully. You know, he wants to make sure the whole world knows who the biggest bully in the world is.
Oh, my God. He's something else. I tell you, he wanted to be like that dictator from North Korea. Well, he's on his way, man. I tell you, oh, my God. This guy is fucking insane.
You got that right.
But, that's what I said, 2020, buckle up, babies, because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Well, we're going to find out. Look, like I said, this could turn out to be a really good thing. This could be the thing that puts somebody like Bernie Sanders. I don't know. I haven't checked Bernie's fundraising over the last couple of days, but it may have just shot through the roof with this sort of thing. And if that happens, then then we got a race,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Bernie and Tulsi would be the ticket. And if he doesn't pick Tulsi, then she would be fucking awesome as the Attorney General, man. Jesus Christ.
Or the Secretary of Defense.
There you go. There you go. That one. That was better. Yeah.
That would be freaking awesome, dude. I mean, that would be. But I'd really like to see her as the VP, because that would mean that we'd have her as the president when Bernie was done.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it would be interesting. But
so then if the Democrats had 16 years in a row and they weren't actually Democrats, because what the Democrats keep saying in 2016 is that Bernie's not a real Democrat, and in 2020 is that Tulsi's not a real Democrat. So if we had people like that, maybe we could actually get something done in the White House. Wouldn't that be awesome?
What about Warren?
What's that?
What did they say about Warren? Is she a real Democrat?
No. Well, yeah, she's one of them. She's one of them. No, she's absolutely one of them. She's the one that they want right now to be the nominee. The Democrats, the people.
Yeah. Either her, that goddamn stupid fucking Pinocchio fucking mayor, Pete.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he's such a fucking doofus. I swear to God, oh my God, I can't even take him. Oh man.
I can't believe it. Pinocchio's a good name for him. And I wish every time he lied, his nose would grow. That would be awesome, dude. He'd have like a 2-foot long nose at this point.
Big should be on that Geico commercial.
Yeah, that's a great commercial. I love that one.
I know, right? but fuck yeah, I'll vote for the one who they say is not a real Democrat. I tell you that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what they always used to say about Ron Paul too. He's not a real Republican, right? These are the guys you wind up loving the most.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if it's not, if you don't have to be a Democrat to do the right thing, then you know what? I would not vote for Democrat motherfuckers. Just give me the one who actually thinks about us,
Yeah, exactly.
The motherfuckers that want to start a war every fucking country just because they can.
Right. Well, yeah.
All these motherfuckers over here, more money, build more ammunition, build more missiles, Every one of those missiles is like, what, $1.4 million each?
Some ridiculous amount.
It's fucked up. That's all like the trillions and shit that they have gotten. It's like, no, United States of America, we are safe. Because of all that motherfucking money, unless somebody's using it to wipe their ass, we're fine. For fuck's sakes, man. But Jesus. I don't know.
We ought to be pretty well protected at this point. Except for, you know, all they have to do is do some little fucking 9/11 bullshit hokey pokey crap. And the next thing, everybody's going to be like, oh, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid. You know how they are, man. I mean, but again, it's like I say, look, whatever it is that's going to happen, we've been through the shit. We'll get through it. It's not that big a deal. Just stay cool. Just stay cool and we'll get through it, okay? I'm not here to try and spread the fear. I don't want to spread the fear. I want you guys to be smart and know that you're top of the food chain, man. When you look around your surroundings, you should be like a fucking lion, looking around, going, yeah, everything's cool, no problem here. You know, I mean, that's all there is to it.
I'm so confident in my life that I don't turn around and look over my shoulder when I'm walking. If it's going to get me, it's going to get me, because I don't fuck with nobody.
Yeah.
And I have no reason for anybody to come after me.
Yeah.
I'm saying is that, look, we're vigilant and everything. We just fucking live our lives, though. We should not be in fear like they want us to be in fear.
Exactly. Don't the fear, because we make bad decisions when we're afraid, and not only that, we tend to part of the bad decisions are we turn towards strong leaders. That's what they believe with their psychology of keeping people in fear. We turn towards leaders who will say things like, we have to fight them over there so we don't have to fight them over here. Again, spreading more fear, cementing your fear into no, we don't want to fight them here, you know, and then siding with this guy who's got the idea to keep us from fighting him here. You know, such a bunch of bullshit, man. Don't buy into the fear.
Yep, hence the Iraq War. That's exactly what it did.
Right, exactly.
Even though the proof was that there was no weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass deception, yes, but they're doing the same thing now.
Yeah.
And then people are so gullible, like, yeah, we better go get them before they come and get us. Like, what the fuck kind of mentality is what's wrong with people?
It's what they've been programmed to. They've been programmed to believe this, Michelle. You hear me? I talk about programming again and again. You know, I mean, it's in the movies. In the movies, Michelle, everybody in the movies, every single hero carries a gun and fucking shoots people with it. Okay? And that's...
You know that back in the day that in fucking Barney Miller, you know that sitcom Barney Miller?
Yeah.
Well, they had them say shit about what the government was doing on the sitcom, so that way if someone would repeat, I heard this from my mom, and she said, so that way if you would repeat, like, you know, a conspiracy or something, they would be like, oh, shut up, you just seen that on the sitcom.
Yeah.
And they blew it up. But meanwhile, it was like the fucking truth, but they were mocking it by putting it out there, you know, to say, like, you know, well, this motherfucker's a dumbass, so now everybody goes, oh, this is a dumbass. Oh, okay, everybody believes it.
Yeah.
And that's the same shit they do now. You know? They fucking say, we gotta get them over there before they come over here, like you said.
Right.
And I'm like, dang, we don't have any problems here in USA. The only thing, like I said, it's homegrown crazy motherfuckers that just want to kill people just because they want to fucking kill people, period. You know? But it's like, where is, you know, any other country in this? How is another nationality coming over here and fucking us up? Because no one has. Not even 9/11. No one has.
Yeah.
You know? Come on.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I wish that Americans would fucking wake up and see that we are fucking safe. We're the fucking terrorists going over there and fucking every other country up. Because we wanted to be this way. Who the fuck made us the fucking captains of the whole fucking world? The ego of this goddamn government is overwhelming.
Yeah, it's horrible, Michelle. I mean, I agree. Who the hell made us the boss, the bully of the world that said that we can go? I mean, why are we ordering other countries how they're supposed to live? It's not just that we say, okay, we're putting sanctions on Iran. What that means is no country in the world can now do business with Iran, or we're going to fuck you up too. That's what putting sanctions on Iran means. You know what that you know what I'm saying? And we're not just bullying Iran, we're bullying every fucking country in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. It's like we're the fucking parents. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
That's why they pump so much money though into the military, because they know the dirty government what they're fucking up to giving Halliburton, Cheney's company, and all the other motherfuckers business more money. Hey, war means money to them motherfuckers, and it's never gonna be enough.
Yeah.
They're always finding a reason, but I'm just so sick of this shit.
Yeah, me too, Michelle.
And people need to fucking wake up and realize that it's not about us against them. It's about the United States after everyone else.
It's about who is the real threat to your personal freedom. And I'm talking to the U.S. citizens. To the U.S. citizens, there's no Al-Qaeda that's a threat to your freedom. There's no China that's a threat to your freedom. No Russia. The only real threat are the people in Washington, D.C. and your local governments who somehow view your personal freedom as a threat to them, so much so that they have to make like 40,000 new laws every fucking year.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Land of the free.
That's what I'm telling you. It's like we're the richest nation, and look how they're using it, to enrich themselves. That's all they're doing.
Right.
They don't give a flying fuck about the people,
Yeah.
They could care less about us. All they're thinking about, like I was telling you the last time we talked about privatizing the postal service, that's going to be a fucking mess.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, that's horrible. I think that would take an act of Congress, but yeah, that would be...
the deadline's going to be at the end of January.
Yeah.
So if you hear anything, it's going to be, the end of January where, they have a new postmaster or whatever, but if they privatize this shit, good luck fucking sending packages, man. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and if you don't get your bills on time, too bad. Shit. Oh, my God.
Right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, get ready. That's what I'm saying. Buckle up, 2020. And you know how they say, hindsight is 2020, but we're ready,
We'll get through it. I don't know about we're ready or not, but I know we'll get through it, Michelle. That's why I keep saying we're going to get through it. That's all. That's what I know.
When I wake up in the morning, I'm ready. We're always ready. Like, whatever happens, it's like we roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. That's what we do. Like you said, what was that you said? One step in front of the other?
March or die.
There it is.
March or die. Those are your options. That's your option, soldier. Fucking march or die. Your choice. We're going this way. Come with us or die.
That's right. March or die. Look at me, motherfucker. I'm running. But yeah, we just, keep living the dream and do what we got to do and just not live in fear is what I'm saying. Because whatever happens is going to fucking happen. And me being sad or scared or worried is not going to fucking make any difference.
It doesn't add anything to your life at all.
No, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Just like Grandma would say, why you worry? It's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't take you anywhere. So come on.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
Yeah, I agree.
So I just do best that, whatever happens, we'll just roll with it.
We'll get through it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it was great talking to you, Mike.
Hey, it's good to hear from you, Michelle.
I hope to talk to you soon again.
I'm sure. I hope we do too.
Hey, great shows, by the way, man. You've been getting some numbers there, buddy.
I don't know. I know that it's we're doing this thing, and I have hopes for it, and other people are being very people are being very nice. People are saying that they love the show and stuff. So I hope that it goes somewhere. I hope that it does go somewhere. I like connecting with the people. I like the people having a voice. I mean, that's what Mox News has always been about. So yeah.
And that's a good thing. I've been seeing the numbers rise, and Mike, since I've been connecting with you and everything, I see the numbers going up, and I see the The chat room is freaking off the chain and everything. It's like everybody got all kinds of opinions. They're all fucking awesome. It's just like, shit, all right, Mike. I see all kinds of different new names. So congratulations, Mike. Keep up the good fight.
Okay, Michelle. Well, thanks a lot for all your help, and I'm glad we heard from you tonight. It's nice to hear from you always.
All right, brother. You have a good night.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's our buddy Michelle from Texas. And it's always nice to hear from her. I know she tried to call on... we got another caller. Hold on, caller. Man, Craig is barbecuing something that's driving me crazy. Hello, caller.
Hey, man. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, this is... I called you a few weeks ago. This is Two Bronze Star Brandon.
Brandon?
Yeah. Listen, I want to take the topic off of what's going on in the Middle East, and yes, that a plane got shot down and everything that's going on.
Sure, you go ahead, Brandon.
I need you to really think about something.
Okay.
All right. For 8 years, the Republican Party put everything into a guy named Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz?
And for 8 years...
The Republican Party put... Wait a minute. The Republican Party put everything into a guy named Ted Cruz?
Listen to me.
Okay.
For 8 years, everything that Barack Obama did, Ted Cruz was on Fox News. He was, whatever. He was like that wart on Obama's ass.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
And that's who their nominee was going to be. But when Donald Trump got in the mix and came down the escalator and said and awoke the real Republican Party, which unfortunately are the bigots, and said that all Mexicans are racist, that annihilated the Republican Party from ever nominating. And I mean ever. This is going to be generational for them. Because they knew that their base was getting old and dying. The Mexican population is all Christian. And Ted Cruz is going to be that guy, even though he's not Mexican.
Uh-huh.
He's from Texas.
He's Canadian. He's from Canada.
Well, he was born there, exactly. But his father's from Cuba, his mother's American.
Okay.
But what I'm getting at is that was an investment to be able to get the Latino vote. But when Trump awoke the Republican Party with Mexicans are rapists and this and that just shattered. So there will be nobody with a last name Cruz or Rubio from the Republican Party. So all that work that they did got destroyed. Now the Republican Party is putting all their eggs in the basket to make sure Trump stays elected because they got their policies passed when they had the Senate and the House. Now they're hoping he gets reelected so he can be a 7-2 in the Supreme Court. That's what it's all about. The Republican Party really don't care about Trump. They got their tax breaks.
Yeah.
All right. He's just a tool and he doesn't know it. But now they have to keep him in office so he can possibly win again and replace the two. There's 4 liberal judges and 2 of the oldest ones. Come on, man. They're on vitamins every day. They ain't got that much longer to live.
Right. If one of them fucking trips, if one of them trips, they're gonna break in half.
Exactly, and that's the whole goal. And if they get the Supreme Court to that much of a level, and they don't care if the Democrats get the House, the Senate, or they get the White House, they get all 3 of them. But every time they try to put a policy in place, the Republicans will sue and take it all the way to the Supreme Court, and they'll win the Supreme Court. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but if the Democrats were to get the Senate on this election, on the 2020 election, then there'd be a chance that they might not allow any Supreme Court justices to be approved from Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, that's what, Mitch McConnell did.
Right, exactly.
But I don't think but the problem is the Democrats, they're compassionate people. They're not rude and disrespectful like the Republicans are.
Well,
the Republicans
I think that they try to work with. I think that they try to work with the Republicans a whole lot more than Republicans try to work with the Democrats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they do. But as much freedom as this country talks about, I couldn't imagine living in a country with a 7-2 Supreme Court.
Yeah, I hear you, man. That is a very, very scary.
When a majority of Americans are more liberal than they are conservative.
It's a very, very scary thought, man.
Yeah, because the Republicans know they're not going to get the Latino vote. They'll never get the black vote.
Yeah.
So that's really what everything's going on about. Trump's wagging the dog with everything, and he needs this, he needs that. You see what's going on with Mitch McConnell not going to want witnesses, and maybe she just sits on the paperwork until after the election. If he does get nominated and the Democrats get the Senate, then push the impeachment paperwork.
Yeah.
That's long ball right there.
Yeah, well, I've said all along that the impeachment is about trying to get the Senate back. That's what the impeachment is about, because the impeachment is meaningless unless the Democrats can get the Senate back. So there's a chance that what's going on is they're trying to postpone the actual impeachment trial for as long as possible at this point until we actually are fully involved in the election, and then, you know what I'm saying? I think that was kind of the ploy all along. I was really surprised that the House passed the impeachment as quickly as they did. I thought they were going to drag it out for at least a couple more months.
Yeah, I was kind of concerned with that too. I think they should have drug it out.
Yeah.
But that's all I want to say, man. I've been watching the show, love it, and I think the lady named before me was Miss Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle.
She netted on the head.
That's Miss Michelle.
They're doing good things, man.
Yeah, right on.
Doing
Well,
good things. Okay?
Hey, Brandon, it's nice to hear from you, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the show, and I look forward to hearing from you again soon.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
All right, you stay cool. And to all, you stay cool too, because we're going to get through this thing. Whatever it is going on, we'll get through it. We've been in this shit before, and we got through it then, right? And things are actually better now, as far as like the lifestyle that we have, right? We have all this, whatever it is, basically whatever it is that we don't have, we can walk down to the corner Quickie Mart and buy it. You know what I mean? It's a very simple life we have. So don't worry, don't be afraid, and know that we'll get through it. It'll be okay. It always works. It may not work out the way we want, but it always works out okay. That's the way it is. Or at least for me, that's the way it's always been. So I have great faith that we'll get through it. So thanks so much for tuning in. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Stay cool. One of these days, this war is going to end. We do this show every day, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. I hope we see you there. All right, we'll take this phone call. Last one. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. All right. That's it for me. So just stay cool. We'll get through it. It's not like, we have to face fucking tigers out there when we go outside to have our little picnic. Is that a tiger? No, we're good. We're good. No, tiger, fucking tiger! It's not like we have to face that, right? So we'll get through it. Like I said, we got through that when we go out for picnics and stuff. And fucking tiger would show up. We got through that. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We'll get through this too, okay? So don't worry. Be cool. If you want to help Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like you. And I only say that because if good people like you, the good people, don't actually give something back, then the shitty people aren't going to give something back, right? So if you want to kick down for pizza, that would be awesome, super generous of you. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I've ever asked for from anybody. Is if you could kick down for pizza, that would be awesome. So we'll be back tomorrow. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. I hope we see you there, because it's always better when you're here, okay? So stay cool till then. We'll get through it.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.